Hey guys, let's go. Welcome to the Wise Guys, the largest BYU sports live stream show in the world and the most watched collegiate sports live stream talk show on YouTube. I'm Dave McCann, my BYU TV colleague and the play-by-play voice of BYU women's basketball. Jason Shepard is in for Blaine tonight. Welcome.
Thank you. It's always good to be here. You know I like doing the show with you when I can.
I love it that you're here. It's 1,000 degrees outside, so you should be indoors where it's nice and cool. The live stream is already hopping like it always is. We'll try to give you a bunch of shout-outs as we move through the show tonight, but thank you for being here, and we welcome everybody in. They'll file in over the next few minutes, and this is going to be a fun Wise Guys tonight.
Let's go. Look, we're almost to the middle of July, and we are not lacking for content, which is always nice.
No, we remind you, Wise Guys is presented by Brady Plus and Mountain America Credit Union, distributed by the Deseret News. Look for our new podcast out tomorrow, wherever you get your podcasts. And we invite you to subscribe to our free email at wiseguys.com. You can also watch all of our past content there. And we'd love it if you hit the free subscribe button on our YouTube channel. That helps us build the show. There's Sylvia in from Wisconsin. Hey, I sent you a note, Sylvia. We got you booked as a BYU Superfan for September. So make sure you check that out, and we'll make it happen. Mackey's from Montana. Let's see, California's there, Arizona, and on it goes. So thank you for being with us. We've got an awesome show tonight. We're covering the gamut. And look, we love seeing Jason. We love him.
Is that Ruthie?
Yes, it is.
All right, there we go.
And then
she's always got my back
from St. George. Hey, how cool is it down there in St. George? It was 109 in Salt Lake yesterday. Believe it, 109. Record. We're in Vegas.
Well,
that's a
I'm going to be in Vegas next week.
That's
and
your own fault.
I really don't want to deal with that.
Yeah. Anybody who goes to Vegas in late July has no one to blame but themselves.
It's just a stopover on the way to Disneyland.
We used to drive through Vegas as kids going down to the Holiday Bowl. That was our one time too, and our dad would drive off the freeway and drive down the strip, and then get back on the freeway just so we could see the lights.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember thinking Circus was like from another world. And now, after 20 years of living down there, you look at Circus, like, come on, man. That's all you got? Put a fountain in or something.
Seriously, do something.
Get some pirate ships or whatever. But, hey, all our folks in Vegas, hang in there, right? Fall's coming, and it's going to cool down in about 4 months. So, just take it one day at a time. But, yeah, it's a roaster here. What do we got tonight?
All right, we're going to start things off, little thing called BYU football. Jay Drew from the Deseret News is going to join us. We'll talk BYU football with him. Jay was also down at Big 12 Media Days in Frisco, so we'll get his thoughts on all that as well.
The Big 12 preseason poll, the Wise Guys version, we're going to release that tonight. There's a media poll out that Jay participated in. We'll get his thoughts on that as well. So, lots of football for mid-July.
Yeah, and even some BYU basketball news. Danny Ainge is going to be part of the 2026 class for the Collegiate Hall of Fame. So congratulations to Danny Ainge.
That's so good. Can you name the other two Cougars that are in there already in that Hall of Fame? We'll talk about it a bit later on. Think about it. Let us know on the stream. But I for a minute there, I thought, what? He's not already in that? and now he's going in, which I think is sweet. Bill Ekbald of Hotel Park City and Ruth's Chris Steakhouse is going to be with us. And we'll have 3 new BYU Superfans. As you know, you're all Superfans. We're trying to get you all on the show. And they are now tied in with Hotel Park City and Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. So we'll develop that marriage here tonight.
I like it. And we'll have our Re-Lyte Athlete of the Week.
This is cool because in the summer, there's no sports going on, or at least the couple of weeks in the summer. So we thought, well, let's go back into this last athletic year and find particular weeks where someone did something particularly well. And when we roll out tonight's Re-Lyte Athlete of the Week, you'll go, oh, I remember that, and that was awesome.
I'm excited. So I'm not sure where that's going, so I'm going to pay attention to the show then, I guess.
Wise Guys is presented by our title sponsors, Brady Plus, Brady Plus provides cleaning, food service, packaging, equipment, dispensers, and service for businesses coast to coast, including BYU here in Provo, the Pentagon, and Disney World. In addition, Brady Plus has over 150 distribution facilities across the country, and a recent merger has boosted their employee numbers to over 13,000. At the head of it all is a BYU grad, Travis Brady. Learn more at bradyplus.com.
Wise Guys is also presented by Mountain America Credit Union, helping people achieve their financial dreams for over 80 years. Whether you're buying a home, planning for retirement, or managing daily expenses, Mountain America has the tools, technology, and guidance to help you succeed. There is a lot of information waiting for you. All you have to do is go to macu.com.
By the way, Jeff is on the stream saying Puget Sound weather's perfect this week, mid-70s.
I'll take that.
Yeah, thanks, Jeff. Thanks for making us all feel awesome. Good to have you on the stream. Our Re-Lyte Athlete of the Week is presented by Redmond. The secret's in the salt. Learn what it can do for you at redmond.com. Those Redmond products also over Jason's right shoulder.
Also, as Dave mentioned, we'll introduce you to tonight's BYU Superfans, and it is brought to you by Hotel Park City and Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. Reserve your stay and your table today.
Here we go. Just before Jay Drew joins us, let's talk about the news of the day. The jersey sponsors. That announcement today, the NCAA is allowing 2 advertisements on the football jersey. Software company Entrata becomes the first institutional jersey patch partner in BYU football history. I imagine they paid through the nose to get that. The Utah-based company is going to have their logo right above the Nike swoosh on the front of the jersey. So that's one thing we'll see. And then on the other side, we're going to see something else.
Yeah, we're going to see the Monster logo energy drink. And it was announced at Big 12 Media Days that Monster energy drinks will have their logo on the uniforms in the conference. Each school is going to get a reported $1.2 million annually from the deal. And this is not just a jersey patch. There will be the logo on the football field as well as the basketball court. So you're going to see it at Lavelle Edwards Stadium. You're going to see it at the Marriott Center. And I believe somebody clarified this because I was wondering if they were going to be able to do the color coordinated logo for each school. So you would have the Monster logo, which is neon green,
right,
but in blue for BYU. Apparently they are all going to be the neon green.
Really?
Yeah.
We're going to have neon green.
That's apparently what we're going to have.
On the floor of the Marriott Center.
That is not the case, though, with Entrata. If you saw the picture of it today, and if memory serves, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think Entrata's logo, actually, the lettering is red.
Is red.
That clearly is not going to fly. So BYU is going to have a blue and white Entrata patch, which looks pretty cool on the jersey, actually.
I'm okay with it. I'm okay with advertisements on the jerseys and on the field. It helps raise money for NIL and everyone's scrambling to find some money. I wasn't quite sure who it would be, but it's going to be Entrata. And I've never had a Monster drink. I'm just not. I'll have a few Dr. Peppers, but I've never just ventured into Monster. But they are, hey, they're all in. They're all in on the Big 12.
I am really hoping, because I am an energy drink consumer, and I am really, really hoping that Monster energy drinks are readily available now around campus. Specifically at the BYU Broadcasting Building.
Yeah, there'll be a few of those going down. Keanu Tanuvasa at 6'4", 300-pound defensive tackle, NCAAF Nation with its 98,000 followers on X. They list Keanu as the 8th best defensive tackle in the country and 2nd best in the Big 12 behind Texas Tech's A.J. Holmes Jr. Good props for Keanu, who came back to get ready for the NFL. And it's great to have some preseason props because now you're on everyone's, hey, what about this guy?
Yeah.
What about this guy? And then you got to go perform.
Yeah, high praise for Keanu Tanuvasa, and certainly know what he's capable of, and should be a fun year for him up front on the defensive line for the BYU defense. Also, Bill Bender of the Sporting News projects BYU to win the Big 12 and reach this year's college football playoff. And how about this? Goes even further and host Oregon in the opening weekend. He also has Notre Dame reaching the championship game. So I wonder what that means then on terms of how that game goes in Provo.
Yeah.
But hey, look, that's another publication that has BYU atop the Big 12 standings.
Yeah, bring it on.
I'll take it.
On. Preseason hype matters now.
Yes, it does.
It influences voting.
We had this conversation earlier today at work, and it was, look, while it doesn't mean anything, in general, perception does help. And if you can start higher in everybody's perception, they are willing to give you the benefit of the doubt as the season goes on.
You bet they are.
So it does. In a way, it doesn't matter, but it does.
Yeah. I wrote a story about it in the Deseret News. It's PR and performance.
Yep.
You got to have the PR because it kind of choreographs the ending based on your performance. And so I love to see that. By the way, Phil is in from Cedar Park, Texas. Good to have you on the stream. And everyone else. I'm just looking at them come in. Dallas is cooler than Provo. What? Can't believe it. Yeah, it is what it is. That's what we're dealing with. ESPN FBI says BYU has a 25.75% chance of making the college football playoff. The only Big 12 team that's higher is Texas Tech at 57.9.
Wow.
Again, it's shaping up to be mano a mano.
Yeah, a preseason top 40 was released by Phil Steele. I have to say that slow so that I don't say Phil Still. So Phil Steele's preseason top 40 has BYU at number 10.
Interesting.
Number 1 overall, Notre Dame, obviously.
That's interesting.
Has Notre Dame coming in at number 1, Georgia at 2, Ohio State at 3, Texas at 4, and Indiana at 5. But how about the Cougars as a top 10 preseason team by Phil Steele?
I like it. I like where they're at. One of the topics down in Texas at the Big 12 meetings, Brett Yormark, the commissioner, said he wants more games in Europe. TCU is going to open the season against North Carolina really in a few weeks now on August 24th in Ireland. And that got us thinking, what country should BYU play a football game in? The natural one is if England, they will sell out England.
Yeah.
Just church members alone will buy and sell out wherever they would play, Wembley Stadium or something in England. But where would you like to see the Cougars play?
Well, I would love for them to play at Wembley. I think that would be awesome. Anytime this is brought up, the first one that comes to my mind is Brazil. So many missionaries end up going to Brazil, and I think a game in Brazil would be fantastic. I think the church. The membership of the church in Brazil is huge. And I think that would be an amazing place. Speaking of Wembley, when we were back in London in May, we went to Wembley and they've got the big banners out front for Arizona State and Kansas.
They're getting ready already.
Yeah, so we saw that even in May. They've already got the billboards up and teasing that matchup of two Big 12 teams.
Well, BYU's played in Japan. They did that in 78. My parents went to that one, played UNLV. And then they went to Australia and played Colorado State in 1987. But they haven't been out of the country since.
I'm surprised by that. With BYU being such a global brand, I'm surprised that already the Big 12 hasn't tapped into that.
There's got to be a stadium in Alberta, Canada.
Oh, can you imagine?
the Cougars would fill. But I think England would be awesome for the Cougars to go play. And I don't even care who they play. It wouldn't even matter.
No, it doesn't matter.
But Yormark wants more international games. So you know what? We saw one last year. We're seeing one this year. And that maybe BYU's in line for next year.
How about BYU as the biggest brand in the Big 12? And it's not us saying it. Stuart Mandel of The Athletic offered this, quote, arguably the biggest brand in the conference is BYU. And some of that is due to its large LDS following. But the main reason people recognize BYU's jerseys is the 1984 National Championship. It's the gift that keeps on giving, Dave.
Oh, yeah.
Ty Detmer's 1990 Heisman win and all of those great quarterbacks under Lavelle Edwards. And let's be honest, some of the great quarterbacks that have come through very recently as well, continuing that transition. That's a really interesting topic on whether or not the Big 12 has right now sort of this biggest or flagship brand right now. I'm not sure that they do, but I think BYU is poised to be able to carry that crown if they continue in the direction they're going.
I like that it came from Stuart Mandel because we can have this conversation on Wise Guys or on Sports Nation.
And we sound like homers.
Yeah, and it's like, no, come on, guys. Well, when Stuart Mandel says, BYU I think is the biggest brand in the Big 12, and brand means something more than they got a good football team, right? Brand is who you are and how big you are everywhere. And I think if you look at the national brands, the number one brand should be Notre Dame, Michigan, maybe Alabama.
Yeah, how many? Look, we I think sometimes we use the term brands loosely. How many actual college brands do you think there are? Do you think there are 10 college brands? Because I would argue, however many there are, BYU is absolutely one of them.
Yeah, there might be more than 10. There's a lot of them that think they have a brand.
Texas, USC, Notre Dame. You mentioned.
Yeah,
I think Alabama is a brand. Probably Florida State, Miami.
Oregon thinks they're a brand.
I would say
Nike brand.
I would say Oregon is a brand.
Yeah, Washington would probably contend they're a brand. I don't know.
I don't think Washington's a brand.
Not everyone in the SEC is a brand, although they would think they are.
Well,
not
the
everyone
SEC
in the
is
Big
the
Ten
brand.
is a brand, right?
Right.
Yeah, Michigan, Ohio State.
Michigan is a brand.
Right there.
Michigan is a brand. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think BYU's right in there too. Largely, I agree with Stuart. The growing population of the churches everywhere. That's a natural tie-in to BYU. Doesn't mean they're all BYU fans, but they're tied into it, right? And then BYU's won. And if you're consistently in the top 15, they finished number 11 in the polls last year. The year before that, after they beat Colorado, I think they were 12, maybe 13. I'm just flying it loosely. So there's the last 2 years you're in the top 15. You have a national champion. You got a Heisman Trophy. You got an Outland Trophy. You got a Doak Walker Trophy. Your coach is in the Hall of Fame, speaking of Villaville. So your pedigree is right there. Now, it's not 8, 9, 10 national championships. That might be Alabama. So you salute Alabama. You go, nice job. All right, we're not saying we're Alabama. But BYU is BYU, and they're definitely in the mix.
Yeah, interesting stuff.
Yeah. All right, the Big 12 gave up on the preseason poll because of what happened 2 years ago when Utah was picked number 1 and Arizona State was picked number 16. And BYU was picked 13 that year. And as it turned out, Utah finished 13th. Oklahoma State finished 16th. Colorado, BYU, Iowa State, and Arizona State tied for first. So they're going, you know what? We're done. That was so off. We're not doing one anymore. So there's no coaches poll. And I think the other leagues still put them out, but the Big 12 said no. Wise Guys is going to put out its Big 12 preseason poll tonight. And we're also going to talk to Jay Drew because some media reps got together and media guys, and they put out a poll. So there's kind of, here's how people are feeling about this. The Wise Guys Big 12 preseason poll.
And was this you and Blaine?
Yeah. Yeah, but that now includes you.
Okay, and because mine is different from this.
It could be a little bit different.
Mine is different from this.
But in the spirit of unity,
I mean, yes, this is exactly the way I would have it.
So there you go. That's what I wanted to hear. Texas Tech is 1, BYU is 2.
We're in line there.
And then things get a little foggy. We got Arizona State at 3, TCU at 4. Utah at 5, and why Utah at 5? Why are they that high? Well, they got good players, but all their coaches left for Michigan on the offensive side. That matters. And that's going to show up. And there's some good teams in the Big 12, and I think that's why we got them at 5. Houston and Arizona tied for 6, then Oklahoma State. And then now all of a sudden, there's so many teams. Now it's all like anyone could be 10, 11, 12. West Virginia, Kansas State, Kansas, UCF, Iowa State at 14, Cincinnati at 15. I don't know. And Baylor at 16. Baylor could be 9. There's a lot of parity down below. There's less parity up high than there is down low.
Right.
In this Big 12. So that's the Big 12 Wise Guys preseason poll. Now, as a grafted in member of the Wise Guys, what's your beef with this poll?
No problem at 1 and 2. I actually agree with you at Utah at 5, but I would have Houston at 3. Okay. I would have Arizona at 4, then Utah at 5, and then I would probably have K-State. So it's just a the top 5 or 6 to me is different. We have 1, 2, and 5 that are the same, but I'm really high on Houston and Arizona. And obviously, BYU's got that big matchup against the Arizona Wildcats in Provo coming up. That'll be a big one.
Houston's got the big matchup 3 weeks in at Texas Tech.
And they have just done a fantastic job of chipping away, and Coach Fritz has done a great job taking over and putting this program on the right track. And quite frankly, not just the right track, the fast track. They have made huge strides over the last 2 seasons, and I think they're really good.
Now, the Big 12 media poll, 16 writers got together while they were down there having dinner or something. Well, that's Jay Drew, how this came about. But they got together and said, let's do a poll. And they have Texas Tech at 1 with 14 first place votes, BYU at 2, and then they got Arizona and Houston, so they're thinking along the lines of you. They got Utah 5, then TCU and Arizona State, and then we stopped there because there's 16 teams. But that's the top 7 from 16 media guys who cover the league. Tech, BYU, Arizona, Houston. It's interesting, Arizona, Houston sitting at 3. Then each are going to probably have a loss.
Yeah.
Before they get out of September in conference to the 2 teams in front of them.
And they're going to
have to make up for that.
Make it up. You're right. And early. You're sort of put behind early.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
I like your ideas on that. You're always welcome to share your ideas.
Thank you.
Now, next week we might go, remember when Shep said this?
And then just totally trash me.
No idea what
totally trash me. It's fine.
When you have 16 teams, it's hard to rank the last 14. Right? It's easy to go.
Is.
These are the top 4. Then everything else is just muddied because there's so many teams. Not everyone plays each other and all that. So we took a stab at it, and the media guys took a stab at it. The AP poll will come out about a month.
Yeah.
And then we'll kind of know where the general writers are thinking.
By the way, I would have Iowa State last.
Yeah, I was thinking about putting them last, but then I sat there and I thought 14, 15, and 16, they're the same.
It's interchangeable, yeah.
Yeah, Iowa State's
tie
team
for the final
left.
3 spots.
The Iowa State team's left for Penn State. Oklahoma State inherited all of North Texas's team, and so I'm not quite sure where to even put the Cowboys.
Well, and quite frankly, if you're looking at the Bearcats, if there's any coach in the conference that's maybe on the hot seat, it's Satterfield.
Yeah.
So, obviously, you never know because you mentioned a couple of years ago when Arizona State was picked dead last and they ended up winning the whole thing.
I know. Crazy league. I've got an article in the Deseret News on how BYU's preseason hype has put the Cougars in prime position to strike big. You can read it at Deseret.com. You don't have to agree with it, but you can read it and then you can chime in. But I think you probably will agree with it because it just makes sense. But
Says
anyway,
the person who wrote it.
That's in there waiting for you. The next media days for P4, that's the ACC. It starts Wednesday. The SEC starts on Monday. We remind you, after further review returns for another season on BYU TV, Tuesday, August 4th. That's just 3 weeks from tonight. That brings it back.
It's football season when that's back on.
Yeah. Jay Drew's going to join us in just a couple of seconds. A couple of NFL notes. Because this is how we mark the passage of time. The first training camps open this week. The rookies report for the Seahawks and the 49ers on Friday. And then it doesn't stop.
And then it doesn't stop. All 32 teams will be in camp by July 28th. So we're talking about just a couple of weeks, and everybody is going to be up and going, and a couple of Cougars still looking for potential jobs, whether they want to play or not.
Taysom Hill, Kyle Van Noy still without a team. I don't think it'll break their heart if they skip fall camp.
I think there's a lot of that going on here.
And we're curious to see what Kyle still wants to play. Not sure if Taysom's getting some golf in. And I'm not sure where his heart is as to whether he wants to go join a new team, restructure with the Saints. But
don't you think it makes sense with Denver?
Yeah,
because of Sean Payton. Don't you think that makes, even if it's just to come in and just sort of be an adult in there? You know what I mean?
Or even Kansas City, and then Kansas City went and signed a guy.
Oh, please.
I thought, man, that would be a natural for
Well, yeah, and then for the life of me, and this is my team, and I'm completely blanking on his name. He was.
But they signed a guy where they're paying him enough that he's going to back up Mahomes.
Yes,
he's going to be the
guy. We traded for him with the Jets.
Yeah.
He was former Bears, and for the life of me, I'm drawing a blank.
I know who you're talking about. Played for the Buckeyes.
Yes, and I'm completely drawing a blank. This is my backup quarterback, and I cannot think of his name.
That's right. You hope to not see him.
I hope I don't see him because that means Patrick Mahomes is healthy.
See. The Hall of Fame game, by the way, Cardinals and Panthers, August 6th. That's in 23 days on NBC. The NFL Network's going to televise 19 live games in the preseason like that because we got Cougs all over playing. And the cutdown day is the big one. That's on Sunday, August 30th.
Justin Fields.
That's when you find out.
That's who I could not think of, Justin Fields.
Right.
There you go.
Well, if you're thinking about him a lot this fall, that means things didn't quite work out.
Things have gone down quickly.
Our first guest tonight is the award-winning BYU football beat writer and a colleague of mine at the Deseret News. If there's a breaking story regarding the Cougs, he's the one who's writing it. We're happy to welcome Jay Drew back to the Wise Guys and back out of that Texas heat to get into the Utah heat. Jay, good to see you. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm just trying to cool off. Been outside a lot the last few days, and it's been pretty brutal. Beginning in Texas, but carried through here in Utah.
It's too hot to play golf, so you're doing yard work? Is that what you're doing outside?
I actually played golf this morning out at Oak Ridge for a media event for the Women's State Am that is going to be there next week. So, yeah, luckily we got off the course about noon, and it wasn't too bad. It was not quite 95, I think. So I survived.
As long as you can play in 95 if you're shooting in the low 80s, right?
Which I wasn't, so yeah, don't remind me.
Hey, in the wake of the Big 12 football meetings, which you attended there in Frisco, Texas, what stood out to you the most?
You know, just what a great production it is. The Big 12 does a great job with it. I mean, this is, I think, my fourth one. I went to the one the year after it was announced that BYU was joining, but before they'd actually joined. So whatever, 4 or 5. One of those was in Vegas. A couple of those were at Cowboy Stadium, and then the last 2 in Frisco. And they just do a great job. Another takeaway was, I mean, BYU is a bona fide, big-time partner, member of this conference. They're not an afterthought like maybe they were the first couple of years. They're as much a part of it as any team in this conference, and that includes Texas Tech, Kansas, some of the schools that have been in this conference for a long, long time. And then, you know, another takeaway is these events were made for Kalani Sitake. He just thrives in them. He's just great at them. And all the media members love him. The national guys, I talked to a lot of national guys. I'm going to be writing an article about that tomorrow, about their perceptions of BYU, but they all just say, man, it must be great to work with Kalani Sitake. He's just such a jovial, friendly, fun guy. And so those are just off the top of my head, a couple of just takeaways, but it's a lot of talking, a lot of optimism, but all in all, just a really good time and kind of a nice way to start revving up for the college football season.
Jay, of the things that came out over the 2 days in Frisco, was there anything that surprised you?
Not really. I guess, you know, I guess the biggest one was how little that people wanted to talk about Brendan Sorsby and the whole incident with Texas Tech. I thought there would be more. Well, the commissioner shut that down pretty early with one question. But as far as like Texas Tech, the players themselves, the coach, it's clear that they feel really confident in Will Hammond, that they think they're going to be okay. Which begs the question, you know, why did you fight so hard for Sorsby in the first place? You took a huge PR hit. I'm speaking of Texas Tech. And now they're saying, oh, yeah, we're going to be fine, you know, whatever. We got Will Hammond, which doesn't make a lot of sense. But, yeah, that was probably maybe the biggest surprise, is just how quickly it seems like Texas Tech is willing to move on from Sorsby and express a lot of optimism in whoever they got coming up next.
One thing we saw down there is that L.J. Martin was picked to be the preseason Offensive Player of the Year after wrapping up last season as the Offensive Player of the Year. That really puts L.J. in a spot as a running back at BYU to run on the national stage and go after the national awards, doesn't it?
Yeah, it sets him up really nicely. I don't know if you guys caught wind of this, but Arizona was really, really forceful in promoting Noah Fifita for Heisman. And they passed out flyers. They had their representatives from Arizona going to all the media members and asking if you wanted, you know, any sort of interviews with Noah or any sort of more information about him. It's that campaign has really kicked off. And then, you know, to see that he isn't the preseason Big 12 Offensive Player of the Year, instead it's L.J. Martin, says a lot for L.J. and what L.J. did last year. And it'll be interesting to see if BYU maybe kind of promotes LJ even more if they start a campaign to get him a little bit more recognition. I don't think that'll happen, but I could, possibly seeing it, especially if if LJ outplays Fifita in Arizona in week 2, which is another thing that was kind of a big surprise to me. We were talking about what surprises the willingness of Arizona coach Brent Brennan to pump up that BYU Arizona game. He's telling everybody, hey, you got to watch this game. It's going to be the national game of the week. Our guys are still, thinking about that double overtime loss in Tucson last year. And we feel like we're really ready for BYU this year. That was really a little bit of a surprise. You don't see coaches like single out one game on their schedule, unless it's the opener, and that sort of coach speak. But that was another big surprise that Brent Brennan really pushed Arizona. The Arizona BYU matchup is this huge matchup for week 2. He basically said neither him nor Kalani want to play it that early, but it is what it is. And he said the Wildcats will be ready for it.
A minute ago, you had mentioned just how entrenched BYU is within the Big 12 in such a short period of time. And it reminded me of something we had talked about a second ago. And this was out there. It's been out there for a couple of days now. But Stuart Mandel, said arguably BYU is the biggest brand in the Big 12. Where do you think BYU and its brand fits in terms of that type of conversation within the Big 12?
Yeah, I think BYU deserves to be in the conversation. I don't know. I mean, there's a lot that goes into it. Obviously, other sports as well. I mean, obviously, I think you got to put BYU at or near the top. I mean, Texas Tech may beg to differ. They did win the conference championship last year in football. I went to the CFP, obviously. They're as good as BYU is in basketball, or they have been. Which are obviously the two marquee sports. So I would say it's either Texas Tech or BYU. I think you could make a case for either. As far as, television ratings go and kind of that sort of thing, I think BYU is probably number one in that way. I thought it was interesting the conference named a Commissioner's Cup, and they're going to do this moving forward. But basically, it's like the Director's Cup that BYU finished 25th in nationally, but they're going to do this every year. And their first winner was not BYU, even though BYU was finished higher in the Directors Cup, but it was Arizona. And Arizona won 2 national championships, which I think they were trying to think now men's tennis, and can't remember the other one. But that's pretty impressive too. So I think Arizona has a pretty good pedigree and case, and Utah obviously has been in the Pac-12 and made a name for themselves there. So I think there's quite a few candidates for the biggest brand in the Big 12, but I personally would put BYU either 1 or 2 with Texas Tech.
Michael Beaumont's on the stream. Michael's on the stream from Beaumont, Texas. Gary's on the stream asking, is the football games and basketball games going back on BYU TV this season? That answer's no. They're all on ESPN Plus or the bigger networks, and that's how that's going to be moving forward. So, Gary, there's your answer on that. Deseret News sports writer Jay Drew's on the Wise Guys, presented by Brady Plus and Mountain America Credit Union. Jay, if there was a single game over the last 2 seasons that legitimized BYU in this conference, which one was it?
Boy, that's a good question. I got to go back to beating Utah last year. I mean, that game turned out to be huge. Utah, they only lost 2 games all season to BYU and to Texas Tech. So I hope that's not recency bias, but that game stands out as absolutely huge.
What about Colorado in the Alamo Bowl against Dion and they win the Heisman? And I thought that one, and I agree with you, the Utah game was huge. There's a whole bunch of them. But that one seemed to be a turning point type game too.
Yeah, it was, especially with all the publicity on Dion and his team and all that. I think sometimes we tend to forget bowl games because there's always these excuses. Well, they weren't motivated, or this team didn't want to be there, and blah, blah, blah. And moving forward, I don't know that I guess there was a a lot of people watching, a lot of eyeballs on that game. I see where you could make that point, Dave, that was a big game, a big turning point. Another game I think some people might not kind of realize how big a win it was that win at Iowa State where Faletau Satuala had the pick six. That was a big win too. And just, I don't know if you guys have ever been to Ames and how difficult it is to win in that stadium and just how rabid that fan base is. So that was a really impressive win for BYU as well. Especially with the way, if I remember right, BYU had to pass that game. They kind of had to unleash Bear a little bit in that game, more so than in previous games. And so that's another game that really stands out as a huge win last year.
I'm thinking about, too, when Kansas State came into town ranked, I think, 13th. Or maybe they were ranked even higher than that, and then they got blown out in about 20 minutes.
Well, you had like
quarter and the
yeah,
third
you had
quarter.
like a 4-minute span where BYU just completely flipped the game on its head and took control.
Yeah, that was a huge game. I remember that, and Avery Johnson was getting all the publicity and coming off a couple of great games. That's another one. Just personally, I tend to like road games. It's just, I tell people this all the time. It's hard to win on the road in college football.
Yeah.
I don't care who you are. And so to me, road wins will always kind of carry a little bit more weight just because of how big they are. Another big game I think people overlook is when BYU beat UCF. It was the year before Jake Retz last year. That's another place that's really difficult to play in at UCF, and that was another game that kind of stands out as really impressive to me.
23-4 in the last 2 years. There's a lot of games.
It's decent. It's a decent
but there's
record.
some that stick out like, oh, this was a definer type. Yeah.
Well, and Jay, we're just a couple of weeks away from fall camp. It's going to be here before we know it. What are the top storylines that you're planning to follow as we inch closer to August?
Yeah, there's not a lot of question marks surrounding this team, and that was kind of one of the themes of Big 12 Media Days. Obviously, the whole Kelly Papinga taking over as defensive coordinator for Jay Hill, can he keep it going? I think that's a big storyline. I think the offensive line is replacing a couple guys. They brought in some new guys from the transfer portal. That's going to be interesting to see. I think TJ Woods has done a great job with that unit the last couple of years, and so that'll be one. Then, and I keep harping on this in some of the things I've written, is I just don't think they're quite set at receiver. I don't know if they're deep enough there yet. They're counting on some guys that, frankly, haven't really shined, like a JoJo Phillips maybe, or Tay Nakua. And so they're obviously going to be without Parker Kingston and without Chase Roberts, and then Cody Hagan went down. So I'm still a little wondering how they're going to compensate for that. And I think one of the big things, another storyline, is these tight ends. They got two really, really fantastic looking tight ends, Walker Lyons and Roger Saliapaga. And are they going to play those two together a lot on the field? I mean, there's ways to do that with two tight ends. But if you want to get your best players on the field, I think both of those guys need to be on the field as much as possible.
Do you think this roster is built to withstand a lot of preseason hype? I mean, the AP poll will be out, we said, in a month or so, and maybe they'll be back in the top 15. They finished at number 11, but they're going to be around there somewhere with expectation of being either the first or second place team in the Big 12. Is this group built to withstand that and stay focused?
Yeah, I think so. It's a really mature group, and they've all bought into Kalani's culture of humble, stay humble and hungry and things like that. So yeah, I think they are. I think the leaders are really solid guys. Keanu Tanuvasa on defense, and Evan Johnson is back there, and Faletau, and they just got a lot of really good leaders. I think Bear Bachmeier doesn't really get really into the hype. He seems to be really a humble guy. He's taken all the accolades in stride. And LJ, we all know LJ's that way, really low key guy. He's not going to get big headed or anything like that. So, yeah, I think this is a really, really, and all BYU teams are really mature. It's just the nature of the beast with them. with guys having served missions and that sort of thing. But and another guy that is a really great leader that maybe doesn't get talked about enough is Bruce Mitchell, the center, where it kind of all starts. The first guy to touch the ball on every offensive play. And he's another guy that's really come a long way as far as his leadership ability. So just up and down the lineup, Andrew Gentry is another guy. He didn't come to Dallas or to Frisco, but he's another guy that I think is really rock solid as far as keeping guys really grounded.
The offensive side of the ball, Jay, it's fascinating to me. There's so much known about the offense, and you have so much production coming back on that side of the ball. But, to the point that you made, you've got two new tight ends that are coming in, replacing Carson Ryan, and we got to see what this offense looked like with not just a really good pass blocking tight end, but one that can catch and yards after catch, and just how much that helped the offense. Now you've got a couple of guys that can do that, but you would expect Bear to take strides moving into his second year. You've also got LJ coming back, as we've talked about. I think you would go into the year thinking, okay, well, you probably want to see Bear throw the ball a little bit more, but then you say, well, why would you see Bear throw the ball more? You've got LJ back. I just think all of these options are so fascinating on that side of the ball.
Yeah, and another guy that's I think is going to be a big key is Sione Moa, coming back off of injury. We saw him a little bit towards the end of last season, but I just LJ, he's been pretty durable. He has suffered injuries here and there. He's coming off shoulder surgery, but I think Sione Moa could be a really big key to this offense to give you a break from LJ and to give LJ a break, really, and so don't overlook him. And from everything I've read and heard about him, is he's ready to go, 100% recovered and ready to return to the form that we saw his freshman year.
5 questions for Jay Drew are presented by Strategy Square. Number of sports writers who covered the Big 12 put their own preseason poll together. You were one of the 16 in that mix, but tonight you're going to reveal your preseason top 5 in the Big 12 and your reasons why. And we'll start with 5 and then work our way to 1. So as you see it, after listening to everybody talking about how great they're all going to be, let's roll through this. Who do you got at number 5?
Number 5, I got Houston. I think they're on the rise. I think they got a ton of weapons. And I think Willie Fritz is a really good coach. So I think he's had success everywhere he's been. So I got Houston at 5.
All right, the Houston Cougars at 5. Who do you have at number 4?
Number 4, I got Arizona. I think Brent Brennan's a good coach, like we talked about before. They've got the good quarterback coming back, Fifita. He hasn't played especially great against BYU in the last 2 years, both losses. But I think Arizona's got some weapons around Fifita, and so I got them at 4.
Okay, all right. The top 3. Who do you got at 3?
I got 3. I got Utah. Hopefully the viewers and listeners won't get mad at me for that. But I like Dampier. I think he's a good quarterback. Yeah. And you can't help. You listen to Morgan Scalley talk. I mean, that guy is a motivator. And I think I don't think there's going to be much of a drop off, if it at all. I know they have a little bit of questions with the new offensive coordinator. They're replacing some key linemen. But I really like the running back Parker, Wayshawn Parker, and so I got Utah at 3.
Okay, number 2.
Number 2, again, don't viewers and listeners, don't kill me for this one.
You've been on this show long enough. You've been on this show often enough where you don't need to justify your answers. You just lay it on us. So you got BYU at 2.
Yeah, I mean, I just got stuck in my head that Texas Tech beat them handily both times last year. I mean, you could make a case that Bear got hurt, in the second game and maybe changed the course of that game, the Big 12 championship game. But I just say, until BYU proves, and they won't get a chance this year unless it's in the conference championship game, but until BYU proves they can beat Texas Tech, I got to still put them at number 2. Yeah,
we have Texas Tech at number 1. As well. I think they've just earned it. And you know what? They have Sorsby out and Hammond trying to get healthy. But, man, they loaded up on all the rest of the positions out there.
Yeah, I mean, they take it serious. They've got the financial backing of Cody Campbell, and you can tell they and they're in Texas and all that recruiting area, hotbed that they have to draw from. I think Joey McGuire's a good coach. And from everything we saw from Will Hammond last year, especially against the University of Utah, he's a serviceable. He's even probably better than that. He's a good quarterback.
Yeah.
I'm one that I was never on the Sorsby bandwagon after watching him play for Cincinnati against Utah and BYU last year. I wasn't that impressed with him. So I know they paid a lot of money to get him and all that, but I was just never a big Sorsby fan as far as his on the field stuff. So I think Texas Tech's going to be fine, whoever they put in at quarterback.
It's going to be a fun season. That is for sure. And that Arizona game looms large on the 12th at LaVell Edwards Stadium in the afternoon on Fox. The whole world to be watching. It'll be a lot of fun. Jay, we appreciate you coming on the show, as you often do. You can read Jay's work at Deseret.com. He's an outstanding award-winning sports writer. We look forward to your stuff coming out the rest of the week. Thank you for being here. Go cool off now that the sun's going down, and we'll see you soon.
Will do. Thanks for having me on. Always a pleasure.
Jay Drew from the Deseret News, and he's the best beat writer in the state, and he's covering BYU, and we're all involved in the this and the that of BYU, and usually know more than we should. But when Jay writes something, we still read it like, okay, what just happened? And anyway, we salute him, and we love these on this show. The Re-Lyte Athlete of the Week is presented by Redmond. The secret's in the salt. Learn what it can do for you at Redmond.com. July gives us a few shows to reflect back on some of the spectacular performances from the last BYU athletics season. Tonight, it's our pleasure to announce Faletau Satuala as the Re-Lyte Athlete of the Week for what he did last October at Iowa State. Take us back.
Yeah, and this was a game that we were talking about just a few minutes ago, just a few plays after BYU took their first lead of the game. Early in the fourth quarter, Satuala intercepted Iowa State's Rocco Becht and returned it 40 yards for the TD. The big play sealed the victory for the Cougars 41-27 and kept them on pace for the Big 12 championship game. The play was especially sweet for Satuala, who gave up a 75-yard touchdown pass on Iowa State's first play of the game. You know he wanted to come back and redeem himself, and oh, did he.
Isn't that what's great about sports?
Yes, you get a chance. Just stay with it. Just stay with it. Satuala also had a team-high 10 tackles against the Cyclones in that matchup in Ames. For the season, the 6'4", 210-pound sophomore from Bountiful was BYU's leading tackler. He had 84 tackles, including 7.5 tackles for loss, 2 forced fumbles, and 3 INTs.
He was outstanding. Now as a junior, he's been tabbed as preseason All-Big 12, healing from a fractured foot, which teammate Keanu Tanuvasa clued everyone in on down there in Texas, saying he's ahead of schedule. So we'll take Keanu's word on that. We expect to see him on the field in September. Faletau Satuala, the Re-Lyte Athlete of the Week. The secret's in the salt. Learn what it can do for you at Redmond.com. Click on the link in the chat in the show notes for the discount code giving you 15% off of Redmond products, and we will see Satuala and company first week of August. They're out there at practice, and we hope his foot's healing up. Our next guest is the Director of Sales and Marketing for Hotel Park City, home of Ruth's Chris Steakhouse, which joins Wise Guys as the sponsor of our BYU Superfans. Coming up here a bit later in the show, he's a BYU fan himself. A pleasure to welcome Bill Ekbald to the Wise Guys. Bill, good to have you with us.
Rise and shout. Thanks for having me.
Rise and shout. We'll turn your mic on and get you going. First of all, what do you think of our lair here?
You know, every logo up there's good. I know the one to the right.
I know where you're
great,
going.
And the one that my dad likes, it's not.
Yeah, so,
it is what it is.
How did that affect your relationship with your father over the years?
You know, I always tell him that I was born in the wrong county. I tell him he was given a full ride to Utah out of high school, and I just tell him if he was born in the other county, he knows he would have taken the closer school to town. But we come from a split household, and it's a good time. My younger brother and my dad seem to follow the red, and my older brother, who was my idol growing up, followed the blue. And what my dad doesn't know is that the reason I was a Y fan is he, years and years ago, when I was too little to go to a game, came home with my first beanie, and it was a BYU beanie. So
Is that where the fandom
That's where it all started.
It started. Yep.
How much fun has it been over the years?
It's a blast taking my own sons to the games and having a chance to grow up loving names like Kozlowski and Bellini and individual names that I grew up loving, and Haymulis, all the way to taking my sons there and knowing a 4th and 18 play took place. They witnessed, or my son getting in to go on the field and meet a few players after jumping over the wall with some famous defensive end we had years ago, doing an announcement if they won the Mountain West. So it's a good time.
Well, you mentioned a couple of the players. Is there one singular moment or one singular game that really stands out to you above any other?
For me, I would say personally, I was actually at a family cabin in Heber, and it was killing me. I couldn't be there, but Harlene's still open.
Yeah, back to Harlene.
Yeah, it's the 4th and 18 play to Collie, sit in the south end zone and watch him scamper down the field, and those highlights just don't go away.
Could you believe that Austin got so open?
Oh, it was the greatest. I would like to recognize that corner from Utah all day long.
Yeah, he went on to the NFL. He was a good player, but on that play he bit, and
Magic
Austin's
happens.
told us many times he goes, oh my gosh, he just bit, and now he's behind the defense.
Yeah, it's just one of those things that kind of takes hold of me, and I sometimes let my fandom get a little bit best of me, but
it keeps us young.
Yeah.
All right, so outside of those 2 Utah games, what are some of the other big moments?
I would say,
favorites?
honestly, just so years ago, I get the pleasure of hosting a lot of golf tournaments. And years ago, I was hosting a golf tournament up at Soldier Hollow. And I was on the hole, and 2 familiar faces came walking up. And that was Chad Lewis and a good man that was our former athletic director. And so Tom Holmel came walking up, and they both stood there. I had just got off a phone call because I coached a lot of football and Little League football, and they heard me hang up the call. And Tom said, there's nothing better than watching out my backyard and watching Little League football go on. I love, showing the kids Super Bowl rings and talking about it. Tom gave me his card, and he said, hey, give me a call. I'd love to talk to your team. So I was really nice of him. About a year went by. I didn't take the opportunity to call him, and he walked directly up to me at the next tournament. And he said, you never called me. And called me out on it. I was blown away that he would remember me and walk up. And then my son, who's red-haired, freckle-faced kid, he walked up to Chad Lewis at the Blue Lemon years ago, tagged on his jacket, and said, hey, I read your book. And Chad looked at him and he goes, man, fearless, red-haired, and freckled face.
Looks just like him.
Yeah, and he was great. And then, ironically, all sports related, but I was on the front row years ago in a student section when they used to have the student section down in the bleachers at the stadium. Chad got hurt during a game, and they sat him on a table right in front of me on the front row. So I got to be his play-by-play guy for a little bit. So
Oh, yeah?
those are favorite moments for me.
Isn't it interesting, and we'll talk about it a little bit more in just a bit, but isn't it interesting, and this is a sports-related show, right, even though we talk about all kinds of stuff, but the moments that bind us, especially when we're there with family and people we love, they just, I can't tell you what I had for lunch yesterday after church, but I can tell you where I was in 1979 on the front porch banging pans after Mark Wilson completed that 2-point conversion to beat Texas A&M. What's wrong with us?
Absolutely.
What is it? What's the power of it?
I think people buy an emotion, justify it later. And I think when you have those emotional connections, it helps you, whether you know the player or not, you have a relationship. And it's that, I guess they talk about degrees of separation, but for some odd reason, you seem to believe you have some connection to these types of moments and players. And though we don't have that athletic ability to be there, you just get to be part of it and watch their success and the agony associated with losses too.
Yeah, and Kalani galvanizes that, doesn't he? He can make anybody feel like they're playing today.
Yeah,
even though they're not.
I've seen him at Lagoon, and he felt I was just so jazzed up. He felt like I got me to go on a ride that I've never tried before. So I was juiced up.
Was it Cannibal? Did he talk you into going to the Cannibal?
May or may not have been.
It's interesting too, because we talk about these games that we remember from our past, and if you look through the eras of BYU football, there are these different fantastic eras of football that are played, and we're kind of in one now.
Absolutely.
And with what BYU has done since joining the Big 12 and the ascension of an already big time program has increased exponentially over the last 4 years. What about this evolution of BYU football do you like?
I think what I've really been thrilled with is, first and foremost, sitting by my phone and watching for every update when they were holding on to Kalani a couple of years ago, like last year or so. And I think the awareness, what we've always loved about the Y and athletics at BYU is the rest of the country kind of waking up. And now it's not just like, oh, they're a bunch of 25, 26-year-old guys that, are too old to be playing against these 18, 19-year-old boys, though they don't realize how hard that is to come home from mission and do those things if they are doing it that way. But I think the athletes that are now seeing the progression between what's happening on all divisions, from football to basketball, baseball, these individuals are coming out of the woodwork. And what AJ did this past year, what Bear's done to stay, and these individuals that are coming, and the recruits they're getting right now, it's just I guess it solidifies a lot of people's hopes and what they're able to accomplish, and there's a genuine excitement I think just exudes from what Kalani is able to produce and the commitment that the players have.
Cougar fans from around the world on the live stream tonight. Phil says, my favorite, speaking of plays, is Taysom hurdles the Texas player while sitting with my son in the middle of the University of Texas faculty section. And as I went wild, they all angrily yelled, "Spy!" But there again is the connection. And you've been talking about the connection is, yeah, Phil was there and he was at the game, but he's with his son.
Yeah.
And then that becomes Taysom jumped over and it was awesome, but it became part of their family history as he's sitting there with his son.
Yeah. I had a player years ago after he jumped down the wall and ran on the field, and my son Stockton, it tells you I've got sports issues, but
nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. He let him wear, I would have had a LaBelle too. My wife cut me off. But he let him wear his helmet on the field, put it on his head, and sat there. And so my dad used to have that as a screensaver on his computer right on the screen. So, yeah.
Well, you never forget that.
Well, this is fairly recent, but AJ came in to do a podcast with me a couple of months ago, and it just so happened that I was able to bring my son in. Oh. And so my son was in the room when we were doing the podcast. And after we're done, I said, my son would really like a picture with you if you'd be. He's like, of course. So he came over and took a picture. And on draft night, when AJ's taken the number one pick from Brigham Young University, my son's able to put on Instagram, hey, this is a picture of me and the number one pick from BYU. I mean, it's those moments, you will never forget those moments.
Yeah, all my boys. Braxton, my son's taking pictures with Ziggy Ansah. My son took a picture a couple years ago on the field with named Easton. He's on the field with the players, and that's for me itself the connectivity that comes from those players to the kids, and taking time out for them. I think it comes from top down.
Hotel Park City does a lot with BYU, with Cougar Tribe, and now with the Wise Guys. And the way things are going with BYU sports, this is a good time to do it.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Describe the value you see in connecting Hotel Park City with BYU fans from literally all over the planet.
Well, yes, representing a hotel from Park City it's been a total blessing to me, but Park City on a worldwide stage gets a lot of attention first quarter of the year throughout the time period. And years ago, Hotel Park City became an autograph collection property via Marriott. And there's obviously a national notoriety and worldwide notoriety for autograph collection hotels. These individuals are traveling from outside the country or within the country to come stay here at the property. And I think the connectivity that we see from the hotel side to theirs, where the athletes are coming in town, or I have alumni associations contacting me and say, hey, our boys are coming to play the Cougars on this date in the fall, and we'd like our alumni associations to come and stay. So that outreach now with the Big 12, I've got schools contacting me all the time asking for alumni groups to come stay in contract blocks, and they'd much rather stay up there.
Oh yeah,
little flare in Park City, and then travel to the game in the morning.
You just have to stay there one time to go, I'd like to stay here again.
Yeah.
Well, for those that haven't been to Hotel Park City or Ruth's Chris, look, and I've lived here almost 40 years and I haven't been up there. What can they expect?
Yeah. So to give you a perspective, a boutique hotel, this hotel, actually, I've had the pleasure of being there since 2006.
Yeah.
The ownership, as I've mentioned him, Glenn Overton is just, sorry to tip up his name, but he is
the best.
Yeah, he's salty the earth type guy. He's come to me in the past during the holidays. And I don't talk about this a lot, but I've been telling the world. He's handed me a large sum of money during the holidays every year. And he'll walk up and say, do me a favor, go hand this out anonymously and report back to me on your experience.
Yeah.
I mean, that type of ownership, like I said, top down is great, but the value proposition that's offered at Hotel Park City, we have, for instance, a Ruth's Chris package. It's easily our most popular package of the property. If you were to come stay at the property, that dining package offers you a $150 dining credit as part of your room rate, and everything is sweet at the hotel. So for me personally, it's been one of the best date nights I've ever had. And if I need to send my wife out with her girlfriends, that's a good medicine for my marriage. They go out and they can eat, whether it be earlier on in the prime dining or classic menu options that are a value dining area from 5 to 6 p.m. or in the later menu, regular menus, to be able to actually make the reservation a 2 or 3 hour meal, depending how long you want to take. It's so intimate and so boutique. And then you've also got a suite to boot. So the value they're getting there, they're saving hundreds of dollars by staying and doing the Ruth's Chris package, or you can just dine and do a la carte.
Yeah.
And for the super fans, for the wise guys, there's 2 offerings that we're doing right now on both those options. And that would be, if you do a Ruth's Chris package, Danielle, who is my reservations manager, we can't actually put it online because it's such a offering that we're running for wise guys and super fans that if you call her directly at the hotel for reservations, ask for Danielle. By 7 a.m. she's there every morning, Monday to Friday. She will put the enhancements on your reservation and save you some money, and possibly find you an upgrade to put you in the suite service.
Fantastic. And if you go to Open Table.
Correct. Open Table, there's actually a wise guy Superfan link that you can go on to Open Table right now, and you can select that link. Ruth's Chris will actually do some complimentary enhancements to all those reservations for people who just want to come and dine.
We love that.
Yeah.
Very cool.
We love that. And we've been there many times. It's one of the greatest places on the earth with the best steaks. And we are so excited to have Hotel Park City and Ruth's Chris involved with our BYU super fans. And we've got a few of them that will have, that will be our debut tonight here in just a bit that we're excited about. So we got expectations for that. What about, let's get back to football, and we got 5 questions for you. What are your expectations for this fall?
The first and foremostly is that they'll be number 1.
They'll win the league.
They'll win the league. I think that
we just had Jay Drew on.
Yeah, well, I disagree a little bit with Jay. I think that I'm glad that that some schools have some things together, but the pieces that were injured last year and what they've actually had collectively coming back. Yes, there's some questions, at the wideout spot, but I think some of the incoming guys they're going to do will do just fine, and I think Bear makes up a lot of that difference. Really excited for what they're going to do on their offensive line, and the defense. I don't think they missed a step. I love Coach. I'm glad he's, had that opportunity to go to Michigan, but I'm really excited for what we've got in store from a defensive coordinating standpoint this year.
Feels like you've been talking about this with the kids.
A little bit. Has some issues, but I may or may not yell at the radio on occasion. Sometimes I agree, sometimes I disagree. But, yeah.
The radio never talks back though, does it? You get right after it. And well, that's cool. I think LJ Martin's going to have a monster season. In front of that, running behind that giant offensive line.
I think that offensive line may be one of the best we've ever had. And that's saying something because it's been trending that direction for a couple seasons now.
They've got so many weapons. I mean, even I live in Lehigh, and some of the incoming freshmen that are coming up there, I think there's some surprises coming up with a couple of maybe a receiver or a small.
We were talking
running
about
back.
Legend Glasker had a great spring.
Watching him, my son was a freshman last year at Lehigh, and he'd sit there behind Legend and in sprints and just kind of get a little stargaze at Legend while he was running, doing his thing. But I just think that they've got so many weapons this year, and I think that teams will have a challenge preparing for them.
It's going to be exciting. Here's what we do with all of our guests. 5 questions for Bill, presented by Strategy Square. Let Chantel help your business grow on social media. You can reach her at strategysquare.co. All right, here's 5 rapid-fire questions, and you've heard this show before, so I think you know what's coming. But then we mix them up just a little bit. Okay, Shep, you ready?
All right. Number 1, favorite sports movie?
Oh, for me, it's got to be If You Build It, They Will Come. I love the end line when he says,
Field
"Want
of
to have a
Dreams."
catch with his dad.
That was on TV the other night.
It's on TV all the time, and every time it's on, I watch it every time.
You have to stop and
You
just go, okay,
Yep.
where are we at in that? That's great. All right. Favorite singer or band?
Man, I'm an R&B 90s guy, so for me, it might surprise you I would say New Edition.
New Edition.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Post Bobby Brown, if we're talking 90s.
Yeah, there's got to be some Bobby in
Okay.
it for me. We all thought we were B-boys growing up.
You bet we did.
All right. Favorite breakfast cereal?
Oh, man, I love Fruity Pebbles, and it's so bad to have at 10:30 at night. So bad.
But it hits just right, doesn't it?
And I've been off for about 2 months. I miss it.
You've been
It's so
off
much
it.
better than having
Nice.
a peanut butter sandwich at 10:30 at
Yeah,
night. It's like, let's have a bowl of those. All right, your favorite game on the fall schedule?
You know what? I hate saying it, but I love the Utah game.
Yeah. A lot of people just go right to Notre Dame because that's huge. They might be
this
number
coming
one.
year, no question.
But Utah is part of our fiber.
Yeah, and my bad for forgetting that Notre Dame's coming to town. I should know that, or knew it, but I forgot it.
Yeah, but that still may not trump the biggest game of the year.
Yeah, just a little bragging rights for my dad always makes me feel better.
Yeah. Well, you've had a good run. He had his run. Now you're in your run.
All right. Now, this may be the hardest one to answer of all the questions. Favorite menu item at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse?
Oh man, have you ever had the spicy shrimp?
Yeah, my wife likes it. I'm not a spicy guy, so I've tried it, but she loves it.
I can eat that like it's just my main entree. Run that, and maybe from a standpoint of the tomahawk. If I'm ever feeling big, I can split it with my wife.
Yeah.
But I like tomahawk, and then the last thing I really love is a sweet potato casserole with olive mode.
Sweet potato.
And some ice cream on top.
Wow, that's
Okay.
That's fantastic. I'm starving now.
I was going to say, we
Appreciate
probably should have done this at the end of the show.
Butter makes it better.
that. Butter makes everything better, doesn't it? Especially the sizzling kind.
Don't touch the plate.
No, but you kind of want to, don't you? Like,
As soon
really,
as
could it
somebody-
possibly be that hot?
Somebody says, don't touch the plate. What is the first thing almost every single one of us does? We reach for the plate.
Exactly.
Why
the
do we
same-
do that?
Because when you're in the tee box and there's a lake to the right, and
Goes to
you
the
just hit it into the
I did
lake.
that today. I did that
You
today.
did that today?
I played
It just-
today at Park City.
It just happens. I don't know what, but we welcome you to the Wise Guys, and we're proud to have such a great company like Hotel Park City and Ruth's Chris involved with our BYU Superfans, which is really just a celebration of BYU fandom all over the world. It gives chance, and we have a couple of young ladies who are going to join us in a few minutes as our Superfans tonight. But it's just a chance to get on and talk about what they love.
Thank you.
And they love BYU, and you know what BYU fans like? They like good steaks. And you know what? My wife's not a steak eater, but she loves the salmon up there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It goes
So-
very well. Yeah.
Thank you for being here.
Thanks for your
Thanks,
time.
Bill.
We look forward to a long relationship with Hotel Park City and Ruth's Chris Steakhouse with our BYU super fans. That was awesome. And yes, we now are both
Very hungry.
and ready to go. But we've got a lot to do here. Our campus notes are presented by BYU Pathway Worldwide. BYU Pathway makes truly affordable, fully online, spiritually based college degrees accessible to folks worldwide through greatly reduced tuition, weekly peer gatherings, and English support, helping students students earn sooner, increase their income, and deepen their faith. Learn more at byupathway.edu. Let's start with men's hoops.
Yeah.
What a story today.
Yeah, Danny Ainge will be inducted into the Naismith College Basketball Hall of Fame. That will be coming up on Thursday, October 22nd in Kansas City. He joins Kresimir Chosic and Coach Stan Watts as now the three Cougars enshrined in the Hall of Fame. You can see our in-depth interview with Danny at wiseguys.com. Also being inducted in October is Jay Wright, Tubby Smith, Ted Owens, Glenn Rice, and the late Walt Hazard.
Congrats to Danny Ainge. That's awesome, and that'll give us something to celebrate as we get into October. And by the way, Eric says, good morning from Singapore. Can't wait for Sunday morning BYU football in Asia. It's coming. Hang in there. Good to have you with us on the stream. CBS Sports' Gary Parrish has BYU ranked number 24 in his most recent top 25. And we're talking basketball, even as they still look for a center. But they did pick up some help this week.
They picked up a nice wing player, 6'6" Lithuanian guard Dovydas Buika. And yes, that is how you say. I checked with Jake Wallin, who went on his mission to Lithuania.
Nice.
It is Dovydas Buika, like Bweeka. Buika. Yeah. Rivals rated him a 4-star guard with offers from Illinois and Arizona. The Cougars still have 3 roster spots to fill as they work on landing their big man.
Hey, keep your eye on DeMarcus Henry. He's a 6'7", 5-star prospect for 2027 that has BYU on his list of 8 finalists. This is the influence of A.J. DeBonsa, and it's going to be felt for a long time. Also, 5-star Aiden Diggs, the number 2 overall player for 2027, also has BYU on his radar, so we'll keep you posted on that. And speaking of AJ, let's go right to Vegas and the Summer League, where he is making a very impressive first impression.
Yeah, quite the debut in his first 2 games. AJ with 27 points in his debut against Aaron Peterson and the Jazz, and then last night against Sacramento, 23 points, 7 rebounds, 3 steals, and 2 blocks. So 2-0. And by the way, that 27 points against the Jazz in his first game, that tied the most points scored by a number 1 pick in his Summer League debut, tied with one Blake Griffin when he came out of Oklahoma to the Clippers. Also, Dave, you've got an article on the Deseret News on AJ right now, don't you?
The last tool he needed to sharpen for the NBA was also the last thing BYU wanted to see happen last season. So you can read about that at Deseret.com. But he's picked up right where he left off.
Yeah, and
as the leader of the BYU team, and now he's the leader of these young Wizards. Now, the mothership's got the big
Trae
guys.
Young, AD, Chris Middleton, those guys.
The Summer League group, he's in charge of those guys.
Yeah, and honestly, don't be surprised if you don't see any more of AJ for the rest of Vegas Summer League. Typically, those high-profile players, they'll play 1 or 2 in Vegas, and then they'll shut them down. The last thing they want is for them to get anything serious, certainly, but anything nagging that can carry on into the offseason that maybe makes them slow to be ready for camp. So don't be surprised if those first 2 games for AJ were also his last.
I hope he plays one more.
It would be
tomorrow
nice.
Night. We'll see. But he's been fantastic. Hasn't been perfect. I think he's 1 for 12 shooting threes. So
the shooting percentage still needs to improve. That was the case at BYU as well. But everything that he showed as a member of the BYU Cougars, he showed in those first 2 games. His ability to pull up from anywhere on the floor and hit a jump shot. His ability to get past but nobody can stay in front of him and get to the line whenever he wants. It is an absolute skill to be able to get to the free throw line at will, and he's got it.
Yegor Dioman with the Nets is on fire. He had 20 points against the Knicks on Friday. Didn't play Saturday. Maybe we'll see him again. Maybe we won't. And Keva Keita with 5 points, 2 rebounds, and a block in 8 minutes for the Cavs in the first game that he played. Then he came back with 6 points, a rebound, and assist in 12 minutes against the Knicks. Didn't play today against the Raptors, and so here's the schedule for the rest of the week.
Yeah, the Nets and the Kings will be Tuesday, 4 p.m. on Prime Video. A lot of these games are on Prime Video. The Wizards, if AJ plays, will take on the Bulls and Caleb Wilson Tuesday at 6 p.m. on Prime Video. Then Keba and the Pacers facing the Timberwolves on Wednesday. That's an afternoon game at 1:30 on Prime Video. The Wizards and Clippers Wednesday night on ESPN at 8:30. Nets and Rockets Thursday, 2:30 p.m. on ESPNU. And then those that advance to the tournament round of the Summer League, that will start on Friday.
We're a couple minutes away from introducing you to Ashley and Lindsay Turner, our BYU Superfans tonight. Stand by, and that's just moments away. Soccer news, the team reports to camp on Wednesday. The first of the fall sports.
This is the fall sports. That's right. It's underway when soccer gets on the pitch.
Jen Rockwood's going to join Wise Guys in 2 weeks ahead of her final season as BYU's head coach. The blue-white scrimmage, by the way, is coming up on August 1st at Southfield.
And BYU baseball represented in the MLB draft over the weekend. Pitcher Garrison Sumner taken by the Baltimore Orioles in the 13th round. And remember, he was drafted the year prior in the 20th round, decided to come back and able to improve his draft stock by 7 rounds. So congratulations to Garrison Sumner. Also, Crew McChesney, drafted in the 17th round by the Chicago White Sox.
Not happy about that.
You've got in parentheses, you wrote in here, BYU's version of Pete Crow Armstrong. Shocker that you would compare somebody to a Cub.
Got him. That's why the Sox said we got to have this guy.
What's interesting is Crew has eligibility. He can come back if he wants to try and improve his draft stock. So he's got some decisions to make, but congratulations being drafted in the 17th round. Also, Dimitri Williams is a signee. A signee for BYU, 20th round by Colorado. So we'll see if he's happy with that or ultimately will end up at BYU coming up.
I saw on the stream, too, a mention of Luke Anderson being picked in the 20th round by the Mariners.
I had not seen anything about Luke Anderson.
So we'll see about that one. But it's good to see the Cougs recognized a little bit. There are Cougars currently in the big leagues. It's the All-Star break. Michael Rucker's with the Mariners. He pitched a scoreless inning on Sunday in Seattle's win at Tampa Bay. By the way, the Mariners are staging a BYU night
How cool
at
is that, by
T-Mobile
the way?
Park on August 22nd, and they sold out all their BYU alumni tickets like that. So now you got to get a ticket just to get in the ballpark.
Well, and you've seen those that buy those specific tickets.
Yeah, and
they get a Mariners jersey, so it says Mariners on the front, and then it says Cougars on the back.
That's awesome.
How cool is that?
That's cool. So if you're in the Seattle area, August 22nd, it's a BYU night with the Mariners.
And I'm a medium, and I will pay for shipping. Although I'm not a Mariners fan, so that part I don't care about.
Still wear it.
I'll still wear it.
Daniel Schneemann hitting 209 with 28 runs batted in for the Guardians, and Justin Sterner has a 5.01 ERA, 40 strikeouts for the A's. Those are the current 3 Cougars in the big leagues. Golf.
Yeah, little men's golf. Kihei Aquino was honored with the Michael Carter Jr. Memorial Award, which is given to the Arnold Palmer Cup participant from both the U.S. and European teams who best represents the qualities and ideals that made the late Penn State golfer Michael Carter so unique. This year's Arnold Palmer Cup was held in Ireland over the 4th of July weekend. Team International won the event 30.5 to 29.5. Aquino played really well for Team USA. The BYU sophomore also competed at the Blue Championship on the Corn Ferry Tour over the weekend in Colorado, but missed the cut by 1 stroke.
Campus Notes are presented by BYU Pathway Worldwide. Learn how to increase your education in a way that can benefit your life at byupathway.edu. It's time to welcome the Hotel Park City Ruth's Chris Superfans. When you're in Park City, treat yourself to something extraordinary. Escape to Hotel Park City, the area's #1 rated boutique hotel, where personalized service, mountain elegance, and peaceful surroundings create an unforgettable experience. Then savor the legendary tradition of Ruth's Chris Steakhouse, serving sizzling steaks on 500-degree plates for more than 60 years. It's the #1 steakhouse destination for BYU superfans who appreciate the very best. Hotel Park City and Ruth's Chris Steakhouse, where unforgettable memories begin. Reserve your stay and your table today. It's our pleasure to welcome Ashley and Lindsay Turner to the Wise Guys. That was a lot to say just to get to introduce yourself. Ashley is there.
Right,
Lindsay is here.
Yes.
All right. Welcome.
Hi.
Thanks so much for having us.
What makes you two a BYU superfan?
Well, I just want to say first, I'm a big fan of the show. I've been watching for years. But we're big BYU fans, born BYU. My dad is a huge BYU fan.
Yeah.
He has 4 girls, so he never really got his boy to share. But all of us 4 girls have equally shared in his BYU love. And we follow in his footsteps. We've done BYU things ever since we were little. And
We definitely bleed blue.
Yeah.
Blue.
I also
yes.
feel like we grew up in Las Vegas and BYU plays there often. So
Yeah.
I think we had a lot of opportunities to go see them in our city. And also our family has season tickets to football. So every year, like tradition, you go with our dad
Make the
to
drive up.
a football game.
Uh-huh.
So what high school is in Las Vegas?
Shadow Ridge High
Shadow
School.
Ridge.
Go Mustangs.
Our kids went to Durango.
Durango.
So-
Yeah, because you
I was a sportscaster down there on
yes.
Channel 8.
Yeah.
20 years
awesome.
down there, right?
Yeah, 20 years.
20
down
years
there.
down in Vegas.
So you
That's
share the
awesome.
Vegas love.
I'm surprised you guys were born back then, but you were very young back then because you're still very young here. But there's a
Yes.
huge following for BYU down there
Yes.
in Southern
Yeah.
Nevada.
Well, and BYU, you mentioned all the times BYU plays down in Vegas. The other
Yes.
part about not just playing, BYU wins a lot in Vegas.
Oh, yeah.
There-
Amen to that.
There's a lot of really big time victories for BYU in Las Vegas, and the crowds are always so huge because of all the BYU fans down there. I'm assuming you were probably part of that then.
Yeah.
Almost every single time BYU's played in Vegas, we were there. So,
Yeah.
So how about, and we're going to quiz your fandom here in a few
oh,
minutes. but
goodness.
Here's
How
hoping
about,
we,
how about
good.
that freezing cold game against Oregon? And BYU blew them out 38-8 in the Vegas Bowl. There was that one. The Arizona game when it was so windy, the nets blew into the goalposts. And they canceled the flyover. Remember those? I mean, by BYU had so
Hollis.
many Vegas Bowls down there, and there was always something.
Yep.
Yeah.
I remember one of my very first Vegas Bowls we went to was against Utah and with Tanner Mangum. And
Yeah. Didn't
it
have a
was-
great first half.
Didn't have a great first half. There was a lot of hope in the second half. We thought we almost could come back, but we didn't.
Yeah, there was a lot going on with that game because you had the whole head coaching situation that was all going on. There was a whole lot,
lot of-
wrapped up into one afternoon.
Yeah.
Yes.
We
Yes.
hated being down 35-0 though. There was just nothing
It was not
right
good,
about
but
that.
the hope and the anticipation,
Yeah.
he still made it a good game, but yeah.
We
What-
stayed till the end, didn't leave early.
What are some of your earliest BYU fandom memories?
Oh.
Okay, so just to give some reference, I'm 24.
Yeah.
I just graduated from BYU.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So what some of my very earliest memories, like relating directly to BYU, was maybe the big era that I remember the most with BYU football was Taysom Hill
Right.
and Tanner Mangum. Like those.
So running over Texas a couple of times.
running over Texas, Jamal Williams.
Yeah.
Those are kind of our big things. The Nebraska game, the Nebraska Hail Mary. At least for me.
What are yours, Lindsay?
I feel like mine is the Texas game with the huge storm.
Oh yeah.
I
Yeah.
was
That
in
one.
third grade and I remember we went and I was like super excited. Truly like the one BYU game here that I remember,
Yeah.
like from that early on. And I remember that like the storm was so bad. And we went to the Marriott Center and I remember being on the court thinking we were the coolest people ever because we're like on the
Hanging
court
out.
by the Y and we're like going through trash cans to get the trash bags as ponchos.
Yeah.
And I just remember it was such a good game. And I had this vivid memory of looking at my dad and he's like cheering because we got a touchdown. I remember being like, can we just go home? I'm ready. It's like fourth quarter and it's cold outside. But it was so fun. Probably one of my earliest memories. But we also were at the game, Mississippi State, when we won in double overtime when
Yeah.
Jamal broke the record for rushing yards. And we stormed the field. Like that was a moment that I was like, I went to bed that night.
Stormed
thinking
the
I was-
field, found Taysom Hill, got a selfie.
Really?
Yes. I think we got on BYU TV.
Nice.
Yeah,
It was fun.
we were happy campers on the way home.
That was
night.
a long time ago, though. So
Well, your memories are our memories because we were doing the post game and the pre game and sometimes doing the game. And remember, we had 2 hours to kill
Yeah.
in front of that Texas game
Yeah.
because it kept getting pushed back because whenever there was a lightning bolt, it'd be another half hour.
Yeah.
And we just kind of danced around that. And then BYU came out and just kicked their butt.
Well, and they
Yes,
ran
as they
all
should,
over
right?
them. Taysom ran all over him. Jamal ran all over him. Got so bad they fired their defensive coordinator after that game.
it wasn't great. It wasn't great. Okay, let's
it's great
test.
for us.
It was great.
Let's play a game called Where Were You When?
Okay.
Okay, so we'll roll out a couple of significant BYU sporting events and then you tell us where you were.
Sounds
Okay.
good.
All right, let's start with where were you when Will Farron kicked that field goal to beat Utah in Salt Lake in 2024?
This one's gonna be hard to believe. We were actually in a pool in Pleasant Grove. We
You were in a
pool
swimming
parties.
pool.
We were in
Yeah.
a swimming pool. One of my good friends from my mission, his parents live in Pleasant Grove and they have a heated pool and an outdoor TV and setup. So most of the watch parties most of the away games we'll go watch it there and swim. but
So you're in
There
the
was a
pool
lot
when
of
he makes a
splashing.
kick.
Let's just say we don't know how much water was left in the pool after that. We
a
were
lot of
freaking
splashing.
out.
That's the best answer we've heard in this game. In a pool.
That's not bad. That's not
Okay.
bad at all.
All right.
All right. How about this one? We're going to switch over to basketball. When BYU basketball beat Wisconsin to reach the Sweet 16 two years ago.
Gosh.
Iconic.
That's crazy.
It's just insane. That whole like run was just wild, magic. Just probably watching at home, honestly. They're just like unbelievable. Like there's obviously a way we believe, but I was like, this is just so fun. So fun. And like moments like that, you're so happy and proud to be a BYU fan.
Yes. Oh, I can't remember if that was the one they had at the Marriott Center.
That would have
was-
been in Denver.
It was in Denver.
Well, no, they
Oh,
were
the watch
streaming
party.
it
Oh, the
at
watch
the
party,
Marriott
yeah.
Center, but I
Probably
think they
so.
might have streamed the Alabama game after that one.
They could have streamed it at the Wilkinson Center, maybe.
Anyway, but
Yeah.
I was watching it. I don't know. I just know that's the game where I like Yegor solidified my love for Yegor that game.
Yegor solidified your
Yeah.
love for. Okay, that's a good one. All right, where were you when Mitch Matthews caught that bomb from Tanner Mangum to beat Nebraska in 2015?
I vividly remember that moment.
Such a good
I think
moment.
that was the first time I ever heard my dad yell.
Really?
Yeah.
He was like running across the house and we were like,
yes,
oh.
we were like,
So you're home in Vegas
home
watching
in
this thing go?
Vegas. We usually away for for a week. Well, in Vegas, every game's basically an away game for us. But growing up, we would always what we call tailgate instead of tailgate. We would barbecue, grill out, and eat it while we watch the football game. And so we did that. Invited friends over. And it was a big game, you know. Taysom Hill just had a season-ending injury after last season-ending injury. And so it was a lot of, you know, sadness. But who is this guy, Tanner Mangum? He just came back from his mission, don't know him much, and throws that bomb to Mitch Matthews, and
It was
all
epic.
hope is restored.
It was
great.
like the Hail Mary of our day because there was always the Jim McMahon to Clay Brown from
Mhm.
1980, but this one was in your time.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was so awesome. Like one of those moments you're like, oh, it was, you just think about it and get chills still.
It was quite a moment. Ashley and Lindsay Turner from Las Vegas are tonight's Hotel Park City and Ruth's Chris Steakhouse BYU Superfans. We're live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and wiseguys.com. Scott Gamble is going to join us in just a little bit with his story. But let's do 5 questions. You ready?
Yeah.
Sounds
5
good.
rapid fires. You may have heard them when we grilled with Bill, but yours will be a little bit different.
Okay.
And we'll go Ashley, you, and then Lindsay, and then we'll go Lindsay. So you don't get the advantage of the answer.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
you guys
good.
each get to answer all
All right,
5.
this is how we're going to do it. Okay, Shep, get us started.
All right, Ashley, favorite sports movie?
Okay. I think I have to go with The Miracle.
Okay.
I think I've heard a lot of people say that one, but I just love it because it's just the story, the context around it, and
You love the speech.
yes,
Yeah.
it was so good.
All right, Lindsay, sports movie.
Okay, you have to tell me if this counts or not. It's a series, The Last Dance. Does that count? Or do
Yeah,
you
it
want me to
does.
say
Of course.
movie?
Absolutely.
I
it
recently
does.
just rewatched it. It's pretty good.
The Last Dance. Okay. All right. Your favorite BYU football game? Lindsay, you're up.
I'd probably say the Mississippi State game.
Okay.
Because again, story in the field, like that's just so cool. Like rarely happens, and like doing it so young, like definitely was like a bucket list checked off super quick.
All right. Ashley?
Okay, so yeah, I just graduated and I've had many years to participate in the Rock, and I've been in there every time. It's
Nice.
been great. I think one of my favorite football games I've been to is kind of more of a recent one, but it was the start of the 2024-2025 season.
Okay.
That one it was Jake Bretzloff's like first like real season, because we
Right.
saw him a little bit before after Keanu Slovis ending injury. So then coming into this next year, we were kind of like uncertain of what the year was going to be like. And it was the Kansas State game,
Yeah.
and the Kansas State was ranked 13 going into there.
Were you in the Rock?
I was in the Rock. I was 5th row behind the end zone. And Avery Johnson was suspected to be like one of the best quarterbacks they've seen in a while. And so there's a lot of hype around that. And we quite didn't know what we were getting into. I honestly didn't have a lot of hope going into
Right.
going into the game.
Sure.
But I got in line for the Rock like 8 hours early just to make sure I got a good seat. Cause I was like, why not? Why not? So we got there, and one of the best moments of my life is Tommy Pras's scoop his score into the end zone right in front of us.
Right at you.
Right in front of us. It's so crazy. And then the punt return by Parker Kingston.
Yeah.
And then the interception and the other interception. Like it all back to back to back to back. I think that was like one of the best moments of my life. Best games.
I don't remember a game flipping on its head that quickly and completely going from in doubt to not in doubt in a matter of like 4 minutes. It was insane.
Yes. And I think just the context around that and how we most like the odds were not in our favor at all. And there was just a lot of uncertainty going around that season. I mean, the last memory we really had of Jake Retzlaff was the Oklahoma game, and that did not turn out great.
Yep.
And so going back into this season, we were so unsure, and it turned out to be one of the best seasons, best surprises ever. Loved it.
All right,
Good
Ashley,
answers.
let's stick with you. We're going to switch from football to basketball. Favorite basketball game?
Oh, favorite basketball game. Oh my goodness. There's been so many. I would say probably we were at the Las Vegas the tournament there, Thanksgiving tournament. I forgot what it's called, but a few years ago before it was like the last one with Mark Pope. And we were like not supposed to win that at all. I think we watched the game with NC State.
And then beat Arizona State, right?
And then beat Arizona State.
Yeah.
Oh, no, we beat NC State to win it. I think that's what it was. And it was crazy because both games we came back from behind.
Right.
And
it was in your hometown.
in our hometown, we didn't think we were going to win. And then that season, again, we were major underdogs the entire season and went to make it into the tournament, which was not projected at the beginning. So that was a really, really cool.
All right, Lindsay.
I'd probably have to say the Kansas game that Dallin Hall did that like killer 3. I remember watching it in
the Kansas one on the road.
Yes.
Yeah.
I remember watching it in my dorm. Like, that's so BYU, just like in Helaman Halls watching the game. And then The Rock was like, we got to welcome home the boys. And so I went to the airport like so early in the morning when I probably should have been asleep getting ready for class. But we welcomed them back. And I was like, that's just so cool. Like a memory here at BYU. And being
I remember seeing the video that folks were shooting on their phones, so that they came back like they were the Rolling Stones, like they were rock stars. And so it was great that The Rock went out there and did that.
Yeah, just a unique opportunity. I feel like being a student, like it's such a privilege. Like it's a good time to be
recovered.
here.
You recovered. You got your sleep back.
Yes.
Yeah.
You passed your class.
Yeah.
There's been many times where we've stayed up really late to party with The Rock. So it's been
No
fun.
regrets.
Okay, Lindsay, let's go to another football one. We got 2 more here. Your favorite quarterback?
I know Ashley's going to say Taysom Hill, and I feel like I would say that too. But just to be different, I'll say Jaron Hall.
Jaron Hall?
He beat the Utah Curse. He's the one that
Yeah, he did.
Yes, he did.
Snapped the streak.
got the job done. So
And we
respect him for that.
We still don't think he stepped out of bounds on his 50-yard
Never.
run, do we?
Never.
Well, and
on that.
you know, you talk about 48 hours. I mean, that's right as BYU announcing you're going to the Big 12, and then you beat Utah and snap the streak.
It was something.
It's quite a couple of days.
I know. Well, I was on my mission all during the time both seasons Jaron Hall was quarterback, so I kind of missed his era. But I definitely just my favorite quarterback who I've seen is Taysom Hill.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just have always the quarterback that got me into BYU football, and it's been fun watching him go into the NFL. He was the first athlete that I watched go into the pros and really followed him throughout his career. And so, yeah, probably Taysom Hill.
Good answer. All right, here's the grand finale. You ready?
We're going to wrap it up here. Ashley, favorite BYU Creamery ice cream?
Oh, there's the new one, Insanely Chocolate. That one.
Okay.
For President Shane Reese.
President Shane Reese.
Shout out to President Reese.
Chocolate.
Mm-hmm.
Lindsay?
Graham Canyon. I don't know.
That's what everyone
so
says,
basic,
Graham
but
Canyon.
it's so good. How can you argue with that?
You don't need to apologize.
No
for that.
apologies necessary.
Like every time I go, it has to be Graham Canyon. Like I've tried others, but I'm like, it's just not as good.
Listen, you two are welcome back to come break down any kind of games you want to break down this fall, because know your stuff. What do you think of the season ahead? What are you most looking forward to?
I'm excited. I'm excited to see how Bear does his sophomore season. Hopefully, like, he was so good last year, so hopefully he just keeps growing and the offense just keeps driving the ball. And the defense is always so good. It's always so fun to watch. Like, third down in Lavelle is one of the best feelings ever. And so I just can't wait to start feeling that. And I'm just excited. I think it'll be a good year, and cheering on the Cougs is a good time to be had.
You'll have your rock pass. Are you a senior now?
Yeah, I am.
And now you're a graduate. You're an alum like us.
Yeah, I mean, technically, I'm still gonna get a rock pass because I'm doing my student teaching in the fall, so I'm technically still a student, even though I walked. But I'll be there.
Keep that rock pass as long as you can.
As long as I can.
So what are you looking forward to seeing the most?
Well, I will just say how glad I am that Kalani's back this year.
Yeah.
Those 2 weeks where it was uncertain, I was stressing a lot. I'm really glad he's back. Same thing with Bear. I think I'm excited to see a more established Bear and a more established quarterback. I feel like, again, last season was a lot of uncertainty, a lot of I don't know. And I feel like a lot of freshman moments seen from Bear. But coming into the season, I'm excited for the more chemistry-drawn team. And the chemistry between Bear and LJ a little bit more, which I'm excited for. I want to see more of a throwing game. Let's do that this year.
A few more 300-yard games.
Yes.
Yeah, like the bowl game.
Yes, exactly. So I'm looking forward to that. And I mean, BYU seems to be in a good spot. It seems to be a lot of hype around BYU football this year. And so let's live it up, you know? When
you submitted your application to be a super fan, and then we got back with you and you said, I've got to have my sister come on with me. We're so glad you did. It's great to have both of you here.
Yes, we have 2 other sisters who are also equally BYU fans.
And would love to be here as well.
Well, we salute your parents.
Yes. You've done your family proud tonight.
Oh, I'm glad.
Shout out to them.
Ashley and Lindsay Turner, our BYU Superfans. Thanks for being here.
Thanks
for coming.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Presented by Hotel Park City and Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. Reserve on open table. Select the Wise Guys Ruth's Chris Superfan option for special pricing. We have another Superfan to introduce you to in just a few minutes with Scott Gambles as the Turners head out. And I'll tell you what, that was next level. That was next level because one, it's fun to have young people, and 2, they know their
Dave,
stuff.
I'm with you too.
Yeah,
what are you?
I know.
What are you talking about?
You and I are. You know, we're a lot younger than Scott, but we'll deal with that in just a little bit. So we got generational here tonight.
Yeah, that's true. Very nice.
So good.
Look, and knowledgeable, huge BYU fans. Certainly, I can see why they are our BYU super fans.
Yeah,
certainly.
We're going to look for them at the stadium.
Yeah,
get them on the pregame show.
There you go.
That's awesome. Hey, let's talk about Quick Quack for a moment. This week, Quick Quack Car Wash is in Las Vegas, where the Turners are from. They're celebrating their 3rd Southern Nevada location. The fundraiser in conjunction with this opening is for Nicole, who was hit by a drunk driver when she was 12. She feared she'd never be able to have children. Well, she's had 4 beautiful daughters. One of them was challenged with a congenital heart defect that required open heart surgery at 3 years old. Quick Quack is going to help the family out. That's what they do when they open up a new car wash in your neighborhood. As usual, there'll be 12 days of free car washes at the new Las Vegas location starting Wednesday. You can nominate someone for a fundraiser at quickquack.com/preview fundraiser. And we remind you, when you see a Quick Quack car wash, that's a company started by BYU grads, run by BYU grads, that supports the Wise Guys and supports BYU athletics. And we love their slogan, "Don't drive dirty."
Yeah, it's good to know too that there are some in Las Vegas, because as I drive through next week, we are members of Quick Quack. We will stop and get a car wash.
You got 3 options
down there
in Las Vegas. Hey, Wise Guys would love to connect with you through Cougar Tribe. You can sign up for free at cougartribe.com and interact with a wide community of BYU fans all week long, including our special Q&A session with Shep and I, the Wise Guys. Shep in for Blaine this week. Sign up at cougartribe.com. It's free, and that's always our favorite price. Our pleasure now to welcome another Hotel Park City Ruth's Chris Superfan. We say hello to Scott Gambles. It's kind of a family reunion here as we bring you into the Wise Guys. Good to see you.
Thank you.
And this is Jason Shepard. who you know very well.
We know Jason.
I
Yes.
did not know that until Shep came in
I had
today.
to tell him that that we have a connection because your daughter and son-in-law, we stayed in their basement for like 4 months.
Yes.
They were kind enough to rent out their basement as our house and vineyard was being built, and we had about a 4-month gap. And so my family of 6 and our dog lived in the basement for 4 months. So shout out to the Llewellyns for hooking us up. I appreciate it.
There
How
you
about
go.
this small world, huh?
Yeah, we saw their kids out in the backyard. They'd play with Lucy, my granddaughter.
Yeah. That's awesome. You
yeah.
brought your wife Mary here.
I brought
Good to
my
have
wife.
Mary here. Tell us what makes you a BYU Superfan.
Oh, well, I guess it started, they just opened up the Spectrum in Utah State, and my dad, he was really the super fan. He got me started, and he took me down to a game, and it was a big, tall guy called Kresimir Chosic.
Your dad took you to see Chosic.
Took us to see Chosic, and Stan Watts was the coach. So I think BYU, I think we lost, but Chosic, he did everything. He shot the ball, he posted up, he dribbled the ball, he did everything. He was amazing. But anyway,
Some people see Chosic in the Marriott Center, but he was on the road, right? Was that at Utah State?
that was at Utah State.
So
Yeah.
you went to see the legend in hostile
Territory. Well, I grew up in Soda Springs, Idaho, so Logan was only like an hour and a half away. So he took me to the game. After the game, got to go down to where they went in the locker room, shake their hands. So that kind of started it there. And then, and I don't know if you can see this.
We can see it. Yeah, just hold that up.
This was when I was 12, and Lavelle Edwards was first made the coach at BYU.
Wow.
My cousin and I just hounded our dads to go take us. And back then, the players dressed over at the field house and bussed
walked over?
over to the game.
Okay.
And so he took us over. We just hounded him, and we couldn't find any players. Finally, we found these coaches, and they were walking out of the shower. So we went ahead and, hey, can we get your autograph? And fortunately, they had their towels on tight, and we had a pen so they could sign an autograph, and we got their autograph.
So you
and
got Lavelle's autograph
got Lavelle's
on that
autograph.
newspaper.
Yep.
Very cool.
How
Scott,
about
good
that?
luck, Lavelle Edwards.
So are you still up in Idaho?
No, we just a year ago we moved down to Pace in Utah.
So the drive to be able to go to BYU events is significantly shorter. But I want you to ballpark it. How many times do you think you've made the drive from Idaho to Provo for a BYU game? How many times do you think you've made that trip?
a lot.
That's a good ballpark.
I don't even know if I could venture that.
So
I
it was
mean, we
between
went-
1988 and 2001 when you're making that commute?
Well, yeah, it was because we moved back to Soda back in '88. So I guess it was about '88 through about 2000.
What is
We
that,
made
4
that
hours,
trip.
5 hours?
It's about 3.5 hours.
3.5 hours.
Yeah. So we did that, and then we had a little break during Croton years, and then
Self-imposed?
Didn't make the trip on a couple of those?
we didn't always make those. And then when Broncos started coaching again, we started back coming. Of course, my daughters by then were going to college here at BYU, so lots of trips. And before that, of course, games weren't on the radio that much. So in order to get good reception on KSL, I mean, Dad would have to go sit out in the car and listen to it on the radio
And hope it's nighttime.
But we lots of time watching BYU football games, and I remember Gary Scheide first coming in,
Yeah.
a year after Lavelle's first year, and they won the WAC again, beat the Arizona State Sun Devils, and so then growing up, I decided, well, if I want to go to all the games, I'm going to go to college down there. So
Yeah.
Went
It's
to
a lot more
school.
convenient.
yeah, well, a lot more convenient.
Now, in the spring of 82, according to my calculations, you were a teammate of Blaine's after walking onto the football team.
Yes, when I got back from my mission, I wanted to play football so bad. So my my coach from high school knew Coach Ramage because he had coached at Snow College for a while. And so he lined it up, and Coach Ramage was gracious enough to give me a shot. So they invited me to walk on. And, after, Mike O'Neill and Casey Tiamalo and David Mills, after a few hits from them, I tell you, they loosened my feelings. And they were always saying, this is just half speed. But I could see because of lack of funds and lack of talent, I decided, no, this probably isn't it.
Now, had you met Mary at that point?
No.
Oh, so she wasn't there to say,
Mary.
"Are you crazy?"
Yeah, no, she wasn't. She could have guided me in the right way. But
look, you gave it a shot. That's what matters.
I gave it a shot, and I hadn't seen Rudy yet, so I didn't know. You should have persevered a little longer. But anyway, I did. I graduated from BYU in accounting, and we actually moved to Tyler, and I got kind of a funny story there. Because in Tyler, we didn't get many of the games, so you'd have to go over to the Stake Center, and they broadcast on the satellite.
Yeah.
And so one game, and I can't remember who it was, but we brought the TV out, and there was about 5 of us sitting around watching the football game, and there was a call in the clerk's office, and somebody finally got up and went and answered the phone, and they come back and they said, this one guy, I won't name him, your wife wants you on the phone. And so he went and got on the phone and talked to her, and then he come back and sat down. And, after about 5 or 10 minutes, we were all just dying. Well, who called you? And he says, oh, it was my wife. Her car battery's dead over there at the mall. And he'd been sitting there for at least 10, 15 minutes. So I guess, I kind of imagine he's probably still not married, but anyway,
do some
I
explaining
guess
on
he
that
would
one.
be the true fan,
He'd be the less intelligent fan.
Yeah, now Mary, I wouldn't dare do that, but anyway.
Well, the good thing for you is the fandom has been passed down to generations within your family, and you mentioned at the beginning of the interview your granddaughter Lucy, and not only is she a big fan, but she's also a fantastic singer. She's been able to sing the national anthem at several BYU games. I know I've seen her quite a few times at women's basketball. I know she's been at baseball. I think the most recent one she did was softball. That obviously, being able to pass that down from generation to generation, that obviously helps out being the super fan.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And right now she's at the Sierra in Matilda.
Oh, really?
She's Amanda Thripp. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Does she get her singing skill from you?
No.
Nice job, Mary.
Must be for Mary.
Somebody has to be for Mary.
So anyway.
Scott Gambles is our Hotel Park City Ruth's Chris super fan, live on the Wise Guys across the world on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and wiseguys.com. Let's roll out 5 questions presented by Strategy Square, because we're going to find out a lot about your fandom right here. Your favorite BYU quarterback, and they're almost all of them are in play here. Who is it?
They all are. I liked all of them, but I'd probably have to go Ty Detmer.
Ty?
Okay, nothing wrong there.
Why Ty?
Just what he did, what he accomplished, and he was just fun to watch. He just threw the ball all over the field, and he was really good quarterback. And
when you were walking onto the team in '82, Steve Young's the quarterback. So you're in there watching Steve Young at practice. Did you have any idea that Steve would go the way he went with football there in '82 at practice to Super Bowl MVP, Hall of Fame, all that stuff?
No, but he really developed.
Yeah.
I mean, because he was always a runner. He was so fast.
Right.
But he really developed as a passer when he got to the NFL and did really well. But yeah, 14 was, my girls all wore that number. And
tough to beat Ty. Ty's going to be on the show next week.
All right,
look forward to that.
Favorite BYU basketball player. And maybe you tip this off with the story at the beginning. Maybe that's where we're going to go, but maybe you surprise us here.
Oh, basketball player. Well, I'd have to say Jimmer.
Okay.
For sure. I love those San Diego State games.
Jimmer versus Kawhi.
Oh yeah, those were my girls were going. They were attending BYU at that time, so they'd go and stand in line, and I'd show up and get to stand in the student section with them. And
that's cool.
Get down close and watch. So it was a lot of fun.
Jimmer, okay, your favorite BYU game, and this is any game, football, basketball, baseball, volleyball, any game.
Oh, it's the Miami game.
Where'd you sit for that one?
We were up in the end zone, me and my dad.
Which one?
The south end zone.
Okay.
He had season tickets there for all those years.
So the south end zone was where the last pass was knocked away, right?
Yes.
And the game was sealed.
it. Yeah. And I had a lot of, because I coached football for 35 years there in Soda Springs.
Really?
And I had some of the coaches I coached with were Utah State fans, and he just gave me a lot of guff over that BYU Miami game. He said, "There's no way they're going to win that game," and so that was a lot of fun.
We were talking with Bill Ekbald of Hotel Park City earlier about the memories that we make, that we remember forever because we were at something that cool happened, but it became a memory because of who we were with. So it's interesting. We mentioned Miami, and the first thing you say is you were there with your dad.
There with my dad,
and that made it a night.
It made it a night, and it was so hot that day.
Yeah.
But the game was, I think, was around 6 o'clock, and so it became very comfortable as the night went on. But
did you and your father storm the field?
no, he wasn't. He was a little beyond that.
Yeah.
It was. I mean, that's the loudest I've ever heard that stadium.
Yeah.
I mean, it's gotten pretty loud the past several years. Right. It's really a great atmosphere, but boy, it was loud.
I think the loudest I've ever heard it was Staley down the sideline against Utah. I think that was the loudest I've personally ever heard
I've heard that. I've heard it was really loud then too.
All right, your favorite thing about the fall schedule?
Fall schedule. Well, I'd have to say Notre Dame, and of course Utah. So we got those to look forward to.
The Notre Dame game, they should be number one. They got an easy schedule. They'll start, if they're not ranked number one, they'll be 2 or 3, and it's a month and a half into the season. I mean, the Irish are prepped to be where Miami was when you and your dad watched that one a few years ago.
Yeah. So hopefully they'll get that one, and they'll have a good season like they did.
All right, you've watched a lot of coaches over the years. Your favorite personality trait of Kalani Sitake?
Oh, just how he loves these players. I mean, you can tell he cares about those players, and I've been able to meet Kalani because, as I mentioned, I coached football, so I'd come to coaches clinics here,
Sure.
and in fact, his very first coaches clinic, we sat in that team room, and it probably was only half full of coaches because Bronco was new, and we sat and ate steak and listened to Lavelle Edwards. It was just right there, so personal, and it was just
Had his autograph.
Perfect night.
I was in heaven because you could go into the coaches' rooms and talk whatever you wanted to with all the coaches, and then it was wonderful. But anyway.
He does love his guys.
He does.
That's why guys come play for him.
Well, and he knows how to delegate. He was a lot like Lavelle. He knows how to delegate his responsibilities, and he's got some great coaches on his staff. I think Coach Pingo will be really good this year, and Coach Roderick. So,
well, we're excited to see it, and we're glad that you could come in. And did you get any ideas for your man cave after being in here for a little bit?
Yeah, well, my wife's already got a few ideas for that for the basement. So
for the basement,
we'll see.
You could do a lot of things in the spirit of football and basketball. And we're glad that you watch the Wise Guys, and now you've been on the Wise Guys
every week. And I want to give a shout out to all my daughters.
Go ahead.
Cassie was our youngest. She was a 22-week preemie, and in fact, it reminded me when the gals talked about that Vegas Bowl. We went to the Vegas Bowl one year, and it was kind of in a hurry, and she forgot when we got ready to go to the game. All she had, and it was kind of cold.
Yeah.
All she had was pajamas, a swimsuit, and I think she had one pair of sweats. So that's what she had to wear to the game, was those sweats. So we didn't check her bag very well. She wasn't very old then, but anyway. And then my daughter Sarah She actually writes the newsletter for Deseret News. She's the
fantastic.
editor for the Deseret News, and she was a football writer for the Daily Universe when her senior year. And then Ashley married Kalani's plumber, Todd.
That's right. And my plumber.
Oh, and he's your plumber.
I didn't know he was Kalani's plumber too.
I've learned a lot about you tonight.
Yeah. He offered Kalani free plumbing if he'd stick around. Not
Does somebody else get that same deal? I mean, come on.
Well, no, I don't know. I don't know if I can
have to talk to
promise that
Todd
for
about
Todd.
this.
You'll have to ask.
The heck, Todd?
Bring it up at Thanksgiving when everyone's around the table. Well, we salute you on your life and
Thank you.
And your loyalty to the Cougs is a source of a lot of fun for you.
It has been. It's been fun following BYU. Everything, basketball, football, go to softball games. Women's basketball did really well this year, so we like going to those.
Volleyball's good.
Volleyball's
Going to
good.
soccer. Yeah.
Yep.
Awesome. Well, Mary, thank you for bringing him here. Scott, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
On the
Thanks,
Wise
Scott.
Guys. Scott Gamble's the BYU Superfans, presented by Hotel Park City and Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. Reserve on open table and select the Wise Guys Ruth's Chris Superfan option for special pricing. And if you're a BYU Superfan, we would love to bring you on the show. Just go to the link at wiseguys.com, provide your contact information and a paragraph or two about what makes you a BYU Superfan, and we'll do our best to make it happen. Wise Guys is a show for all Cougar Nation, no matter what country you live in. So if you're in studio or over the Zoom, we will bring you in. We've had 3 great Superfans here with us tonight, representing very different times in BYU football.
Yeah, different eras of BYU football. Very cool.
That's awesome. That's awesome. All right. On this day, July 13th, we're ready to head down the home stretch.
Here we go.
It's been an amazing show.
All right. In 1832, the source of the Mississippi River is discovered by American geographer Henry Schoolcraft in northern Minnesota.
That seems like it was important.
I would say.
Where's this thing start?
What's the source of all of this?
How about in 1871, the first world's first cat championship is organized and held at London's Crystal Palace. There was a cat championship.
Why wouldn't there be? In 1923, the Hollywood sign is dedicated above Hollywood Hills in Southern California. It was originally Hollywoodland, but the last 5 letters were dropped during a 1949 renovation.
So the Hollywood sign. How about on this day in 1934, Babe Ruth hits his 700th home run.
Not bad at all. In 1956, RCA releases Hound Dog by Elvis.
The world was never the same.
Hey, my uncle used to call me Hound Dog when I was a little kid, and they would like flick my ears while he was singing the Hound Dog song. It's one of my fondest memories of being a really little kid.
This is Meet Shep night. I've learned about the family that saved
It's like
you,
therapy or something.
the plumber, and now Hound Dog.
Yeah, I need to talk to Todd about that Kalani deal.
Yeah, that's something you should. 1985, a group of bands got together to raise money to feed people in Africa. They called the event Live Aid, and we watched it on MTV. I remember seeing U2 and Queen, and I just sitting there going, this is like the greatest thing ever. Live Aid.
Wasn't it Elton John that went from one to the other, from England to like Philly in a day?
Did he?
Well, I think that was live. I think that was Elton John and Live Aid.
I wouldn't doubt it. He's the Rocket Man.
There we go.
He gets around.
On this day in 2014, Germany beats Argentina 1-0 to win the World Cup in Brazil.
Germany made a quick exit this year.
Yes.
2024, President Trump survives an assassination attempt at a rally in Butler, Pennsylvania. I remember getting home from something. It was it felt like it was a Saturday, and turned the TV on, and it was everywhere.
Yeah,
It's
I was
like,
watching TV, and it happened, and
smokes.
I was glued to the TV the rest of the night.
Yeah, that was on this day in 2024. July 13th, birthdays.
1940, happy birthday, Patrick Stewart. Actor, obviously known most for Star Trek and Professor Xavier from the X-Men.
1942, Harrison Ford was born. Best movie, what do you think it is?
Harrison Ford?
I suggested The Fugitive.
No, it's most definitely up there.
We just watched that the other night on TV.
Yeah, I think
What would you go with?
I mean, I can't argue with Han Solo, but I mean, Harrison Ford, you're talking about Indiana Jones as well.
I know it.
So, I mean, like, I don't know if you can, that's a body of work type answer for me.
All
I
right.
can't narrow it down.
Okay. Indiana Jones, the first one, or
Star Wars,
or Indiana Jones Last Crusade.
See,
with Sean Connery.
Last Crusade's, in my opinion, my favorite.
Yeah.
All right, 1948, Tony Kornheiser of ESPN's PTI.
He's the ornery old guy on there that I just love watching. 1956, Michael Spinks, boxing heavyweight champion, was born on this day.
And now we move to the deaths on July 13th. Back in 2010, the owner of the New York Yankees, George Steinbrenner.
He was so charismatic that all of us, not in New York, knew who the Yankees owner was. And today, in 2026, Sam Neill, the actor from Jurassic Park and The Hunt for Red October, he passed away. Jurassic Park was legendary in how, and you know, things have developed since then, but on how they made dinosaurs looked like they were real.
The CGI world was never the same after Jurassic Park.
And the soundtrack, and I thought he was fantastic in that movie.
He's great.
But then I saw some clips today in The Hunt for Red October, and he was really good in that one too. He was a great actor. And from everything I read today, he was a fantastic human being. So Sam Neill dying today. Our Wise Guys inspirational quote of the week comes from Harrison Ford, who said,
"May the force be with you" is charming, but it's not important. What's important is that you become the force for yourself and perhaps for other people.
How about that? I love that.
There we go. Thanks, Han.
Thanks, Han. Thanks to Jay Drew, beat writer for the Deseret News covering the Cougars. Bill Ekbald from Hotel Park City and Ruth's Chris. We welcome them to the Wise Guys. And our BYU Superfans, Ashley and Lindsay Turner and Scott Gambles, on with us here in studio tonight. Next week, 1990 Heisman Trophy winner Ty Detmer will be with us, a BYU Pathway guest, and 2 more BYU Superfans. Here's what I love about the Superfans. And we started about a month and a half ago bringing them on, and we should have done it 3 years ago, is they're Cougar Nation. They are Cougar Nation. And this show speaks to Cougar Nation. That's why we're at night when Cougar Nation's at home. Sports Nation has its place. Everything we do on BYU TV has its place. And on Monday nights, or in the podcast world, there's us. There's the Wise Guys. And it just seems natural to have people come on and share why BYU is important to them, and they all have fascinating stories.
Yeah, it's and I thought the point that you kept bringing up is the memories that we have, and there's certainly the actual moment, but it's the moments that we share with the people that we love that really stand the test of time.
Yeah, it's awesome. Here's where you can find us this week. Shep is on Sports Nation every day.
That's right.
Today's Monday, so the rest of the week.
The rest of the week, you can also follow me on all socials at JSN Shep.
Fascinating stuff. Occasionally, he'll give you some Cardinals paraphernalia, but see through that. I see through it. You can just try
you're a
to
Cubs
work
fan,
your way through that.
Yeah.
And you can read me in the Deseret News all week. Wise Guys, our title sponsors are Brady Plus. Brady Plus, supplies plus support. Find out more at bradyplus.com.
And by Mountain America Credit Union, empowering dreams for over 80 years. We do what they can do for you. See what they can do for you at macu.com.
Sorry, that's my typo.
That was a typo, Dave.
Yeah, that's on me. Our Re-Lyte Athlete of the Week, presented by Redmond, The Secret's in the Salt. Learn how it can benefit your health at redmond.com. Faletau Satuala was our Re-Lyte Athlete of the Week this week for what he did against Iowa State many weeks ago.
And the BYU Superfan is presented by Hotel Park City and Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. Reserve your stay and your table today.
Before we say goodbye tonight, we want to salute DJ, who's been our DJ. What do we call you? By the way, come over here for a sec. This is DJ's last night. He's been with us. We're in our 5th year. He's been with us from the first show, and here he is. What do we call what you do? I wanted to say producer, but that's something else.
Yeah, I mean, Blaine always calls me the technical producer, so I'll take it. I'll take it.
So where are you going?
I accepted a new job at Western Governors University on their media team doing graphic and motion design. So excited for that. But it's been a privilege working with you.
Well, you're very good at what you do, and so that's why they hired you. But now you're going to stay on our advisory board.
Yeah. Text me anytime. Dave knows. He has my number. It could be 2 a.m.
You're the sole reason Jordan's sitting over here as your replacement. What do we got?
I'm very confident in Jordan, and we have somebody else potentially coming on too, so he's not all alone. But
somebody in the bullpen.
Yes, sir.
Well, look, you're very much a big part of the success of Wise Guys. So
thank you so much.
Appreciate
Thank you for having me.
And we'll see you around. So this isn't
for sure.
It's not like you're moving to New York like we thought you were.
You could be in the live stream here too. You can make comments still.
Yeah, like now you can make snide remarks. We'll say, oh, that's from DJ, never mind. But thanks, DJ. Appreciate you. And Jordan, we welcome you officially. Now you're one of us. Shep, thank you for being here.
Always a pleasure,
You're always
Dave.
welcome here.
Ask anytime.
Great to have you in for Blaine tonight. I'm Dave McCann. We're the Wise Guys. Again, podcast out tomorrow. And you'll see clips of this show fed throughout social media throughout the week, YouTube especially. And we again welcome Roos Chris and Hotel Park City. Next week, Ty Detmer going to be on the show. We got a lot of questions for Ty. You know, every question now starts with, well, Ty, you weren't Bear. Look what Bear did. What are you going to make? What's your advice? We had Max on last week, and now Bear's chasing his record as the all-time winningest quarterback. When you start 12-2, you're off to a great start.
I can't wait for Ty to come on the show. I love hearing from Ty. He's an unbelievable quarterback, but an unbelievable guy. And just to be able to talk, just hear him telling stories, it's next level stuff.
Charles says aloha from Hawaii. Mahalo for another great show. Charles and Liz, thank you for being part of the Wise Guys. Have a great week, everybody.
I gotta say aloha too because I'm from Hawaii. Kale, that's where my family's from. Anyway, sorry. This is my last episode. I can do
get off this. We already had
He
you
can do
on.
whatever he wants.
This has already happened. Thanks, DJ. See you, everybody. Thanks for making Wise Guys part of your life. We'll have a good time with this show, and we'll see you next week. Where's that?